Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing? It's a Monday, and we actually have a Monday Cup on Monday. Isn't that ridiculous? Yes. The craziest kind of Monday Cup is the one that actually happens on the day that it's meant to be on. Hello? Hi, hi, hi. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you all being here. This is the WardiTV Mondays, and we are going to be on edition 55. So, we're going to kick off in a few moments into some... I hope TVP. I have Trigger Beyond lined up in my eye line, but I do not see them online just yet. So that's my aim for the round of 32 here. We've got a star-studded lineup as per usual. Beyond versus Trigger. Winner plays MaxPax. Geralt versus Mana. Uthermal versus potentially Lambo second round. Solar versus Ryung is a likely second round. There's a lot of plays in round of 32 who I'm just going to name the favorites. Obviously upsets could happen. Classic potentially against Rogue second round as he's playing that Alex. Hero against Percival potentially. Bunny versus Nicorrect and Creator versus most likely Clem is looking to be the round of 16, but obviously we'll see if any round of 32 upsets happen. I mean, I don't think they ever do, but just on the wildest of chances and the craziest of scenarios that it does, we'll make the preemptive asterisk. Wow, Wardy's Monday today? I thought today was Monday. Oh, it's going to be fun on Friday, because on Friday we're doing the Monday Cup on a Friday again, because this weekend's the last weekend where I'm away for 3 days, basically. So, yeah, that's kind of a thing. Alright, we'll get Trigger Beyond all lined up. I see them coming online, so we'll get them invited and we'll get going. Mana versus Uthermal. I think you need to refresh the bracket. The bracket only just got set live a couple minutes ago, so if you haven't refreshed since then the bracket will look a bit different to you from before the seeding went in. I say seeding, it is randomized seeding as well, just to let you go, just to remind you guys how it works. So only the top 4 from last week get seeded. They get seeded like 1, 2, 3, 4, which means that they avoid each other until the semi-finals, but if someone didn't play last week, they are a randomized seed. The only seeding we do is we randomize the seed, and like, say today 16 out of 24 players are the pro players, or the players who are very, well known in the competitive scene, etc. Everyone else gets dragged below those in the order that they were in, so it's kind of like, it's randomized season, because if I could just say, hey, randomize these 16 players, and then, whatever the rest, I would do that. So basically, we are just randomizing the pros, which gives us a different bracket each week, which is why Creator's already complained about Clem being seed 11. I'm like, well, Creator, I don't know if you're seed 6, bro. Not to be mean, but yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go Beyond versus Trigger for the first round. Unlucky seed, and they just seed 16 and seed 17. Alright, having some fun with Beyond in the party chat as Beyond Trigger will be our opening game of the day. I've got them both here. I asked Beyond why is he always the bad luck seed, and he says, I know the reason. You. And I'm like, bro, no, it's not me. I like you. Crazy. Alright, so we'll get going in a few moments. Show you Thermal. I'd love to show you Thermal if we get the chance to. But it makes... it makes Beyond versus Trigger we just have to go into for the first round. It's just a no question kind of matchup, so... Also, the players are just asking this as well, so I'll just say this on stream. Obviously, we are currently on the ladder map pool still, guys. So we will start to change the WardiTV map pool probably toward the end of this week, I will be taking out 3 maps from the ladder, because that's what we're allowed to do with our sponsors. We'll be taking out 3 maps from the ladder and putting in 3 new maps. Probably going to be taking out... like Last Fantasy, Maganatha, and like... maybe like Incorporeal. Leylines is kind of boring too, so... either way, we'll be getting rid of a few, and we'll be going into a new map pool with just a handful of new maps, because again, we do have sponsor obligations that require us to play on a certain amount of ladder maps. I wasn't ready to do that today. I didn't have time to set pick and choose which ones I like. But that will be something that we do at some stage. So, yeah, that is going to be a thing. Hope you guys are doing well again. Thank you for joining us today. And, yeah, hope everyone is feeling good. We're just waiting for a couple more videos and we'll get some picks going. Perfect. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more video. I'm going to get going. It's going to be weird going back to kind of the not new maps. Going back to the old map pool for a bit, but like I say, we'll be sticking with the ladder map pool for the most part. Like I say, 6 out of 9 maps will remain the same for us. For a little while at least, so... yeah. Alright, we're just going to throw some... lobbies up. It's going to be Torches, Tokamak, and Persephone to start us off today. Get this ready to go, and we will kick off into some action. Thank you for your patience. Trigger versus Beyond. Like I say, actually pretty great first round matchup. I think just a little unlucky that, I mean, just honestly, 17 pros is a very good sign-up point, but it means that 16 versus 17 is always going to be like a ooh kind of match, you know? And that's exactly what this is. Players are ready. Let's go into Torches to open up the day. Let me just get a couple more things sorted out. Alright, let's do this then, guys. Let's get into some action. Let's get into Beyond versus Trigger as we start off game number 1 of this BO3. In the bottom right-hand side, we're going to start things with the blue Terran player. This is going to be the Shopify Rebellion's Beyond. He takes on the red Protoss in the top right corner. We've got none other than Trigger. Is best of 3. I gotta reset back to some best of 3 mindsets. We've been doing a lot of best of 5 recently, so back to best of 3, back onto these maps, and very excited to see what our Monday Cup has in store for us. So obviously it's been a bit of a weird week because we didn't have a Monday Cup last week. It was actually on Friday the week before that we had the Monday Cup for last week, and that's going to be the same again this week. We'll have a Monday Cup on Friday again. But just in general, we've got a good amount of StarCraft coming up this week. It should be some good fun, should be some good games. Obviously, we are on the new patch and the hotfix and everything. And like I say, we'll start to integrate some new maps. And depending on what we cast here and there, we'll probably play on some new maps as well anyway. It's just the WardiTV events that have not shifted just yet, so... Little SCV gonna nibble. Our probe will take some damage as well. As we just have a Reaper in the engineering bay continue to come up. And yeah, probe coming back over the other side. Pylon is going to drop into place. And the Zealot is going to step over here as well as the probe will continue to get some work done. So a little engineering bay block to start us off on Torches. Always a funky map, Torches, right? One of the more interesting maps that ended up in this map pool. That actually gets to see a good amount of play as well. I remember when this was in the TLMC, it was the map that no one really wanted to participate on, but then, like I say, it made it to ladder, and it was actually a pretty decent showing. Stargate and the Nexus coming through. Just going to be seeing the Reaper and taking a few shots onto the Zealots. We do have that warp gate still trickling along here for a couple more moments as well, so continue to just get that up. The Stargate is going to be coming online. With our starport and our tech lab coming on through, the next to the Stargate still building into place, and that Stalker is going to step through, chasing the Reaper for a couple of moments, and continuing to go after it for just a little bit of time here. The starport about to be finishing, the orbital command coming through, Marines on the way in. Cyclone continues to build, the Marines coming up as well. I'm just going to be seeing that medevac Marine Cyclone drop, getting ready to go, go, go. If I go quiet for a second, guys, I'm just throwing a couple of issues out. It's walkover time. Just saving Clem getting walkovered in the first round because, yep, that would be nice to not lose Clem straight away because he was a couple minutes late. So I'm just trying to get that sorted, and we should hopefully be able to focus up fully on this TVP in a second or two. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things here, what is fun is we're already playing a Stargate here from Trigger, and I wonder if Stargate's going to see a little bit of life again on this current patch where, yeah, he's going to go Phoenix into charge. I mean, Phoenix very good at denying a lot of this aggression. The Cyclone is not exactly a safe thing to drop off because it just takes one lift, and with one lift, immediately, bang, the Cyclone is taken out of the equation. So, yeah, Cyclone is going to be lifted, is going to be, I mean, honestly, I would have thought another Phoenix lift is worthwhile here to get the kill. It's an early game unit. The Phoenix, yeah, they don't want to have no energy, but at the same time, you're getting like genuinely a very useful pickoff here already, so that Phoenix count will be able to get the Cyclone. And the Cyclone goes down. A couple of Marine Cyclones still building up just for a couple of moments right now, so we get that on the way. And we do have the gateways and the charge building as well, so everything's settling down nicely into the next step of this. Add on a barracks, getting that Cyclone, getting that engineering bay. Mid-game is coming through nicely. I mean, obviously with the charge coming into play, we're going to have Phoenix charge as a composition. Kind of stops, you know, Trigger from, well, it kind of stops Björn. Kind of sorry, I'm trying to deal with admin issues. Someone is petitioning for Clem to be disqualified. I'm just like, look, he messaged me, he's logging in, it's gonna be okay. But but they are adamant. I'm like, bro, it's my tournament, he ain't getting disqualified. Okay. Two Marines come across the other side. The Phoenix, the Phoenix charge composition in general should stop Björn being aggressive, but this is so Marine heavy. He actually has good damage output. The medevac lets you get away because right now the Phoenix have gone chasing a Raven. We lose 5 probes in this in total. That is going to be a little bit brutal as the Zealots will charge through, looking after that Cyclone. If they can grab that, that would be amazing. Not quite gonna, get a kill or anything, but obviously stepping toward it is a really nice starting point still. And we still clean up a little bit there, right? So we don't maybe do as much as we want to as Björn right now, as he will just sit behind this wall off and settle, obviously waiting for stim combat and +1 to come online in this, again, TVP matchup, which nowadays is a little bit more about the other builds than just the Storm. See what Trigger goes into, because I feel like being Zealot heavy right now is actually really not a good indicator that you want to go Storm next, because one of the biggest issues we've had with the Poros players playing this new Storm is actually them just running into Storm, and obviously if you're playing Zealot heavy, you're naturally going to be set up to run into Storm a little bit more frequently. So I think that's something we're going to want to try and steer clear from if possible. But then what do you go to? Do you add on a Robo Bay or something right now? Like, what is our next step here as Trigger? He was just building Phoenix and +1 air weapons and an absolute crazy number of Zealots and truly just nothing else right now. Like, there is nothing else currently on the way. Command Center will finish the front. The Phoenix will come through, just lifting for an SCV. Going to be able to take a couple of units down as well. Getting a Widow Mine is really nice, right? That's the sort of unit which is actually very effective against your army as well at this stage. So there's one thing to get rid of, that would be it. However, the drop into the main, I mean, here's the big issue, right? Zealots do not have the mobility, the Phoenix do, but if you're out of position already with the Phoenix, then that really is not great. The Zealots continue to charge by, the Marines load back into the medevacs, extra gateways coming through. Phoenix going to be able to play full cleanup, and that is the problem with dropping, right? But the win on this drop is that you did so much already, and now you're using it as a great distraction on the other side, diving to that third base, 20 probes down in total. So that's a lot of damage done in the early stages. As we do see the Marine Marauder medevac continuing to build up. Add a couple of Widow Mines, add the armor upgrade. Just going to be having the few extra Zealots producing on the side of Trigger. And get those going, and obviously we can get ourselves a chance to counterattack here, which is the one thing you've got to do, because you just lost a lot of units. You lost a lot of probes, but you killed a lot of units in the process at least, so you got to go try and take advantage of maybe the numbers lead that you're hoping to have, if absolutely nothing else. This is going to be finishing up. +1 attack coming through. Still got the missile turret on the way. Add the ghosts, the armor upgrade, and the concussive shells through as well. It's just kind of a little bit of everything being brought up for the moment. The Zealots want to try and get in toward that mineral line. And the ghosts coming online. The +1 armor coming up. Concussive shells coming in also. I mean, lots of upgrades that are going to help you out. I mean, it did feel like we had to do something heavy with this attack as Trigger, and now it doesn't really come through very nicely at all. Cycles back in, just going to have ourselves the couple of Phoenix still making their way onto this force, but I mean, the Phoenix just not even shooting down the medevacs, and EMP landing toward the Zealots as well, soften them up. We pull back, the Widow Mines are going to get to go up again. Actually wouldn't mind them being retargeted a bit, but it doesn't matter. Everything of Trigger is going to end up melting down here, and Bjorn, obviously a couple of good and well-placed, well-timed drops as well, is able to more or less just kind of win the game off of those, and then just making sure he has enough at home to follow up with as well has been generally just the kind of consensus in the way that we play this. So very nicely handled for the most part, as we do see Bio stepping back up through the center of the map. Add a couple ghosts, add those few Widow Mines on. You have an army of Trigger coming down the left as he just sets up to take a gold base as well. And I mean, I don't mind the gold base, because in theory you've got the very army, you know, on the map active army, because you're playing like lots of Zealots, lots of units. This would have worked better if he had control of the game, obviously. And at this point, this might just be a risk because he knows he's behind as well. Any which way, whichever way you want to look at it, this is going to be Bjorn taking game number 1. And comfortably so as well. He was obviously, like I said, in a pretty darn, you know, cozy spot for a little while there. And Bjorn will take the opening map of this BO3 to start off the day. So Bjorn getting map 1 as we really kick off the start of this WardiTV Mondays. A bunch of players already getting their walkovers or wins into that second round. So Bunny is going to be playing against Nicorakt. Oh, hang on, I meant to host these maps. Tokamak. But I'm hosting. So yeah, Geralt playing Mana, that was already preset. Classic going to be playing against Rogue as well. Hero against Percival. And those are the round of 16 matchups that are already set here at this point in time. So that's what is already going on as we ready ourselves into a game 2 between these guys. Get this set up in a couple of moments. Ready, says Trigger, waiting for the go-ahead statement from Bjorn as well. And we can kick off into this and get started. Oh, Bjorn said ready in party chat. Never mind, I'm blind. No eyes here. It was just a bit further up on my screen. I'm waiting for something that was already done. Oh, typical move. Alright, with that said, we will get into our second game here, which will be, as I mentioned, on Tokamak. So, Tokamak for game 2. Get that started up. And like I say, we'll get straight on into the second game in what is definitely a very fun section of the bracket to open us up on the day. Say, this is one of the benefits of the... I mean, Not that, I mean, with the amount of players we had signed up today anyway, like C16, 17 was always going to be a fun match, but because it's randomized, there is a chance for it to be an even more fun match. And especially with the fact that we're going to go through, like, you know, the winner of this versus MaxPax. You know, there's basically a back-to-back series we can get straight into, no downtime. That's what we love. We love to just get the games rolling, moving out. MaxPax, who's been in a hot streak in these events a little bit. I wonder if CLEM can step back up today and do well in these in this tournament, because CLEM has really been a little bit absent from winning these Monday Cups, honestly, as of late. Excuse the FPS drop for a little bit while I just tab over to do some reading on stats, but yeah. The last 3 Cups have actually been won by MaxPax. Have we ever had a 4-time back-to-back winner? Yes, CLEM did that once. MaxPax, CLEM's done that twice, actually. MaxPax, this is the 2nd time he's ever been on a 3 Monday Cup winning streak. And he's done it against different players, all PvP finals, but he's done it against Shameless, Nightmare, and Classic. Hero won 4 times ago, and then CLEM has only won 1 of these Cups since edition 42. That's a pretty crazy stat as well when you consider that CLEM is the most winning player of this tournament series with 19 Monday Cup victories. So, things to watch for today as we get to the big boys playing later. But now we'll see who gets to play against MaxPax, like I say, in that round of 16 match. As Gun and Trigger gets up, you know, Hawkmax. We need WardiCam in game 2? No. I hate in-game camera. I know a lot of people do this now, but I absolutely hate cameras in games. When you're casting, people don't want to watch me. You know, you don't want to watch me just doing nothing. Like this, I literally don't do anything. I'm watching a game. You know, like I'm watching a mini map. I'm watching the game. I'm not a very expressive person. Oh, I think it's so distracting. I think it's one of my biggest pet peeves of the modern casting, the modern day casting meta, to have your camera on in game. Ugh, like. If this was a thing like 6, 7, 8 years ago, people would have actually been on Reddit being like, who does this guy think he is, you know? Obviously nowadays there's much more of a community feel to it, and a lot of people that stream have like a community who like to see that person, and the game in the background is more of the game in the background, right? But yeah, it's a very different vibe now. Like, streaming has changed, and I think the perception of that has changed, but I think it's so distracting. I want to watch the StarCraft 2. There's absolutely no reason to take up screen space and block, you know, more of the StarCraft than we need to, basically. So there are a rare few with weird fish. I mean, okay, like the thing is, right? It's like if you could put my camera on when it's like there's like 10 seconds of like a really sick fight, and you can put my camera on the corner, and you can see like my face as I'm shouting and screaming. How, like, you know, when we were watching Beyond CLEM the other day, or CLEM, you know, Kira Raynor, like if you put my camera on in some of the hype moments of that, that's cool. But that's not worth having my camera on for 6 hours of games for like maybe like 1 minute of content where it's like, oh, that was a cool reaction, you know? So yeah, will not be something we go for, but yeah. I mean, I honestly, I'm so boring, especially because a lot of the time I'm just like looking over at YouTube chat, and then people are like, why isn't Wardy watching the game? It's like, I am watching the game, I'm watching YouTube chat, and like I'm looking at Twitch chat, and everyone's like, man, Wardy just keeps moving, and like, oh. People already comment that I'm not paying attention to the stream when I'm like between games, and I'm like, yes, because I'm literally like leaning over to run ads or something, you know, like leave me be, man. Yeah. Good take, spread this so other casters stop doing it. I mean, other casters like it for different reasons, and like a lot of people, like I say, their communities typically like it because if you're part of that community, you probably do want to see the person that you're there to see, right? So yeah, I mean, it's just a different vibe, like I say. For me, it ain't it. I'd hate, you know what it is as well? This is kind of a funny thing, but I am so not used to being on camera during a cast that I have a chill time when I'm casting, man. Like sometimes I lean back a little bit, I just watch the game. We have a chill time. Like, I do not look professional while I'm casting because I have never had to think about the fact that people are looking at me while I cast, right? As this was a nice 4-probe kill, but the medevac and everything gets cleaned out. We still have the Reaper Hellion poised to maybe do some damage. But yeah, I've never had to think about people watching me. Like, to me, when I'm in-game, people do not see me, so I lie back, I have a drink, I don't really think about it. Like, oh, it would be terrible, you know? Anyways, sorry guys, that was probably much more of an answer than it needed to be on the topic. Got us through a 5-minute or so here of this game with a little bit of harass from Beyond succeeding. See Trigger going across with a few Stalkers. We'll see if he can find much on the other side. Stalkers will get there, bunker in position. The Stalkers get turned back the other way. Adept wants to shade up to this high ground. There are a few Marines already gathered. The Adept is going to shade, and friendly fire onto that Siege Tank is, funnily enough, going to be the most effective thing for the moment, as the Reaper continues down to the bottom right corner. +1 attack, thermal lance, and that charge, all still building through, looking good there, as we continue to get through this for the next couple of moments. Anyone know what happened to Muslim? He streams every day. He's been an Age of Empires 4 streamer and a pro player for pretty much a long time. He still will do StarCraft stuff if he gets invited to cast things, but he is a decently sized AoE 4 streamer. It's a big tank siege, all three of them together, looking to reach across and hit a few of those Stalkers there as the Colossus gathers in. Laid back Mundidon is the way to go. It is funny because, I mean, a lot of the time, at the end of the day, like, we're here to chill and hang out. Like, you guys aren't here to watch. You guys are here to watch good games, and you guys are here to hang out too, though, right? It's like, we're not sat in a stadium full of people cheering on what is about to be our next world champion. You know, there's definitely kind of a vibe. And sometimes the games are so good that, like, we just get very into the games. Like, I think if we watched over this weekend, especially during some of the best series, like, the vibe was different, right? Like, it was very serious. We're all about the game. We're not reading chat, you know? But that's the fun thing about this stream, is that we get to adapt to the moment. We get to adapt to the day. And the Monday Cup is like, you know, it's one of the, you know, it's a decently sized Monday Cup. You know, there's good money on the line. But at the end of the day, like, it's an online weekly cup. You know, we're not going to scream and shout. If the game's really good, we'll get excited about the game being really good. But we don't need to talk about the game every moment. I think there is a lot to say about kind of, again, interacting with the community and everything as well. And like I say, just making it an enjoyable time where we're just here watching some StarCraft 2 together. Take a moment as Trigger steps out onto the map. We'll knock down some rocks. He has lost a few more probes throughout this game to the harassment, so that Raven doing it work. 12 workers killed. It's not like we lost nothing from Beyond to do this. He lost quite a lot of units. In fact, resources lost favors Trigger. But he is equal on probes to SCVs, which is never really a good sign, because the Terran will have mules, so that means that Beyond has generally probably mined more in this game. Income advantage will confirm that. So yeah, this is a game where Beyond has absolutely mined more and had a much better time setting up and everything. Question kind of becomes now, where can we go from here as Beyond? Is he going to be okay sitting back? He's trying to get to Ghost, but there is a Colossus on the map, so maybe we need to make sure we get the Vikings going as well. And Trigger is going to throw the Templar Archives down looking for the follow-up. Again, Auto Turret's still there and gets 3 more workers. Those 3 workers on the left side of the screen that have just been killed, that feels like a permanent addition to the game right now. It feels like those 3 worker kills are just permanent because we just keep killing 3 workers. That Auto Turret putting in absolutely amazing work. Getting a lot done. What does Trigger have going nicely for him? Like, what do we like from Trigger's position? Upgrade lead, armor upgrade ahead, going to be way faster on the +2 attack. The switch into Storm means he is going to have multiple choices for splash damage, which I always think makes Protoss armies much more difficult to deal with as the Terran. It means very comfortably toward 4 bases as well, so he got there very easily. Like I say, those 12 probes went down early game, but ever since, Beyond has been sitting back. So there's a lot to like here for Trigger, who is just saying, okay, I don't need to push in, I don't have an army to really push in with, especially if you're going to sit back here on Tokamak in a fairly defensive, defendable position. I don't need to do anything right now. Like, my position is fine. I'm adding infrastructure, I'm adding different splash damage, I'm adding tech and upgrades. I think a lot of that is going very nicely so far. Couple more units gathering, the Ghost's going to be mixed in. Beyond doing what Beyond does a lot of the time, which is like, you know, we expect Beyond to be this fast micro player, but a lot of the time he does just slow it down and say, cool, I'm very happy with my position, I'm very happy with where I'm at. let's just sit here. I'm just going to set my units between the bases, and we're just going to take it slow and steady. Very cool. Again, +1 ship weapons, +2 attack upgrade coming in. The couple of Vikings will be building as the fusion core, and missile turrets coming online as well. There's a couple of missile turrets coming over right here. Planetary Fortress coming up, and yeah, Robo Facility, Gateway, Nexus, Immortal, and the +3 attack upgrade all coming through. Hallucination is going to go and take a little bit of a journey out toward the upper right-hand side. As the Prism sets sub, the couple of High Templar will join together, and the Immortal will be continuing through as well. +3 attack still coming up. Firestalkers coming around. The army settles in down that right-hand side as well. The Vikings joining up. It's a sizable group of units pushing into the center. Marine is going to go down. A little bit of Bio Ghost going to get through in a couple of shots. It's going to help against the Zealots. There's nothing really over that right-hand side. You're just softening it up so that when they run into this position, you're well better prepared. Love the depot positioning to choke up the units and obviously choke up the Zealots if they run through. That was a great storm to take advantage of the fact that Bjorn was trying to be clumped up in those choke points. So Trigger just gets some free damage there, pushes Bjorn back a little bit. No follow-up, doesn't go diving in, but makes it a little bit more kind of, attention draining from Bjorn, who then has to keep an eye on those positions, rather than just letting those positions kind of play out over time. Marauder Viking continue to come through. The Stalker Zealot Colossus back into the middle of the map, as well as going to be constantly still looking just for opportunity and kind of options and chances here. There is a top left base coming online. Trigger is now becoming a 6-base Protoss. If we don't do anything here, is Bjorn make it 7 as he takes the bottom right. At this point we stop counting bases, and he just has a lot of them available. It's actually going to be a pretty good fight though for Bjorn. He's going to get rid of the Prism, and these Zealots are stuck here. That other High Templar trying to drop a Storm, and actually does get a teeny bit of value out of it, but not exactly ideal. We try and attack in on the right-hand side. A couple of EMPs there, good. The Storm's actually very good, but I don't think Trigger has enough to keep pushing through. Slash, it hasn't been at the right time. Now we're going to show up. The Vikings will not get the Prism before the warp in, so the Zealots do get to warp in, but that might just be okay for Bjorn, who's going to say, cool, extra resources thrown into my army. He knocks down all the Colossus very quickly, and this army has just been absolutely, well, destroyed. Bjorn coming in from every angle in the end as well, making it very tough for Trigger to get away from this commitment that he found himself in. And Bjorn wins a fight against the upgrade lead army of Trigger as well. And again, just kind of came in from everywhere, and Trigger was not really ready to fight everywhere. The main portion of the army had already been EMP'd to an extent where I think he should have been backing off against, well, I don't know if he should be backing off against what was there, but it was obvious everything just got lost on the top left. So yes, his army is probably going to be getting closed in on. Back off now while you have the chance, preemptively move away. And he kind of just stuck around. Like, he did disengage, but he didn't start walking home. He didn't start to make moves to kind of get himself away. And that obviously is just a bit of an overcommitment when you're going to be in the end out of position. You just lost a bunch of supply to the left side as well. Very tough little situation. Couple Liberators coming up. The Liberator range is going to be a part of this as well. We get that advanced ballistics, making this even tougher here for Trigger, realistically, because he's going to be in this position where, yeah, I mean, he's going to be in a horrible, horrible spot. Plain and simple. Trigger is going to be up against some really good tech, and he's not being able to afford his own really good tech because he's been rebuilding. He actually has a good amount of money in the bank, so if he wanted to start setting up a Stargate transition, he could do so. Obviously, a lot of bases and a lot of mining means that he does have this army rebuilt, but when I just looked at the unit tab, I did not love what I saw there. Like, it's a lot of very cheap units. It's only 4 Templar, 2 Colossus, and 1 Immortal. And otherwise, it's just a mass of Zealots with a sprinkling of Stalkers. I don't know if that's necessarily what we're really looking for here. Bjorn just finds a bunch of free snipes off on towards some Zealots as well, gets some free damage in. Easy, guaranteed kills if you can get those snipes off, and obviously, as he heard, a lot of the pew-pews going down, a lot of successful snipes landing on that. You're going to see Liberator Siege as we do begin to commit in here as Bjorn, as Trigger, sending this army in. Bjorn's Liberators, though, will create a really good chokehold, and again, I just don't think, because it's just a sprinkling of Stalkers, I don't think the anti-air is really there to easily and comfortably get rid of Liberators either. So if you can't get rid of Liberators, they're just going to sit there and deal damage the entire time. That's just going to consistently be a problem at the end of the day. With a little bit of Bio Ghost, continues down to the bottom. Pylon coming across and actually taking some damage there. We see a few Zelds are going to charge through, get some damage going in the other direction. Plus 3 ship weapons, plus 2 vehicle plating, all on the way up. We add some extra libs and nukes on, and this Bio Army will make a play onto this Nexus on the bottom side. One more Storm just getting into the center. Yeah, a couple more missile turrets coming up, but nukes will come online. This army from Bjorn actually going to see a medevac going down, and Trigger looking to opt into this position, trying to get in toward the planetary fortress. Just going to be seeing the Liberator. Just going to take a couple of shots. Bio coming the other way, a couple of snipes coming through. Gun sits here just maxed out. I'm going to nuke to the top left-hand side, so we'll see if that gets a chance to land. I mean, it will land, but on a couple of stack defenses, nothing really major. I will watch it because explosions are cool. I love how the Ghost turns and runs. Like, there's a point where the nuke stops casting, and the Ghost runs for like 1 second just before the explosion. It always makes me think he's like the cool guy, you know? Like, it's cool to like turn your back and walk away from the explosion and not look back, you know? Like, that is what the Ghost does every single time it drops the nuke. It drops the nuke just before it lands, like, cool. I don't need to watch this. I know what's going on. I'm gonna get my cool guy moment. And probes go down. The base survives. Bjorn continues to try and hit around. Again, Trigger with the economy to kind of keep him in this thus far, but I am concerned that over time we are watching a Protoss player who is going to get drawn out and is going to kind of get beaten down against a very teched up Terran player who already has a Liberator count growing, who already has the Medevac Marauder count coming up as well. You know, these are all just issues but I don't think Trigger is really set to deal with in the long term. As this one, Medevac is potentially going to be able to cloak, lift up and leave. I'm going to say the Ghost is cloaked, there's no detection here, so we could even just save the Marauders and leave the Ghost for a little while. Trigger at the same time is trying to push into the front, but again, how do you do anything if the Liberators, closing down these areas? That's some very preemptive storms on the upper left side. He's thinking he's going to get chased in from over there, which is not a bad guess. It's not like Bjorn's going to run through the right side because it's very choked up. So I don't mind it from Trigger, right? You drop yourself a couple of storms, and it's just a little bit of a preemptive, like, oh, if this just keeps him from running into me, then brilliant, because I don't really want him to run into me at the end of the day right now. It's one of those things that you can, again, because the storms are different length than before, maybe you can get a bit more value out of just dropping storms preemptively. It's not always going to be great, and in this case, there was nothing nearby. But yeah, we've got our eyes open to see maybe any kind of unique usage of storm that we were not expecting to see in the past still. Now, don't get me wrong, Trigger obviously having both corner bases is something that Bjorn doesn't really want to let happen forever in this game. But for the right now, it's fine. You know, Bjorn as the Terran is going to start expanding much more slowly. You can't really deal with Zealots running everywhere if you're too drawn out. So he's just going to collect together and just look for some bigger, larger kind of collective fights. It's a great fight, just Stalkers getting EMP'd, and that gives you the chance to just knock through a bunch of them. More EMPs, and those High Templar get shattered on their energy. Everything clumped from Trigger as he moved over in that direction, and the EMPs reach him, and boy, they do so much work, like so much work being done right there. Sentries, High Templar, pulling back a little, just going to see our Bioforce pushing through. The couple of Zealots will go down, and knock a lot of that away as the extra Liberators coming up as well. All of them at once. 17 Stalkers from Trigger. I actually think Bjorn was playing slowly enough, and Trigger's had enough time in this game. I absolutely think there should have been a Stargift PvP game. Like, there's just no way you can argue to me that warping in 17 Stalkers 20 minutes in this game is better than having had the money to just be on multiple Stargates and playing Tempest Carrier. As you wish, basically. And I don't know if Trigger really felt as though he had to do more, he was playing more in the moment, and obviously hasn't worked out. I mean, those could be the reasons why we've ended up here instead. But the reality is, I think this is a game where there was no attempt to go Stargates. And I actually really do think there was the time to go Stargates. And maybe Trigger just isn't confident in that, part of the game or that style of play. That's okay, but at the end of the day, then you're, really kind of picking yourself down a peg, because you're going to be really just, not as good as you could be if you do get confident with those kind of compositions. So Stalkers warp in, the Liberator goes down. His main army in the center just setting up and waiting to try and get a commitment at any point right now still. Yeah, 3 more Liberators building up, Marine Marauder, vehicle plating coming online. Top left base will go down. That should be a base that Bjorn tries to take for himself here in the near future. And command center that should be able to move across and then hold. So over in the front, it's Liberators are going to get shot down by that heavy Stalker count. And yes, we will start to break through this. Planetary Fortress goes down as well, but it's so much superficial damage. Then hits a great EMP already, landing on the High Templar there as well. Trigger really struggling to utilize his High Templar well, is what this is coming down to so far, right? Where you're not able to... Like, he's getting absolutely, blanketed in EMPs before he does anything. And the thing is, it's like, I don't think it's like he has no chance. He absolutely could have dropped a storm off on that left-hand side. I mean, we saw him with the idea of some preemptive storms earlier. That would have been a perfect time to drop a slightly preemptive storm, because that army was coming anyway, so it wouldn't have even been that preemptive. You could have stopped it running up that ramp on the left, and then you maybe hold the high ground, and then maybe you can do more from actually having killed the Planetary Fortress in this position. Instead, you kill a Planetary, you kill some Libs very inefficiently, only to kind of step back and just step down the ramp and be like, cool, now what? And the answer is not really much of anything, because you're not getting anything else done elsewhere on the map. Trigger is not winning out in the top left. Maybe now he actually has a ton of units moving in on the top left right here. This main fight breaking out again. It's a lot of Zealot Storm combined, but it's not going anywhere. And this is exactly the issue. Like, we are just continuing to see Trigger hit a brick wall. Well, the brick wall is made out of ghosts and missile turrets. And again, I think at this point it's just simply because his army composition is dated. Like, his army composition was good 10 minutes ago. And what have we done in the last 10 minutes to improve the army as Trigger? Like, absolutely nothing. And like I say, that's fine if you're playing this scrappy, tradey game where you're using that better army composition that's clearly good because, that's where you want it to be in the first place. And if you keep trading in such a way that that army composition stays relevant, then great, but at this point, we're not. Honestly, even now, even like when I started mentioning the Stargates like 2-3 minutes ago, even if we start Stargates then, I actually think that would have been a better scenario than what we're doing now, because Bjorn is still giving you so much time. He is still letting you mine this map, and you are still going to have a bunch of money banked up, so there is still time to make that play, instead of warping in 15 to 20 gateway units and throwing them into Liberators, watching them die, and pulling back to do the same again. It's not like Bjorn is struggling to hold on either, right? Like, we lose a bunch of Zealots here, knocking down a Planetary. We're just going to replace the command center over into that position straight away. A little feedback and surround with the Zealots on a Ghost there. Yeah, I mean, Liberators are just absolutely shredding things. This is one of those 25-minute games where I would have been happy if it actually ended 7 minutes ago, because this is not to complain, it's just to kind of really put my thoughts on it, is that I just don't think we're going anywhere. Like, these last 7-8 minutes have been okay. The Terran has got the better army, and we're seeing that better army do better things than what Trigger is able to do. And yes, Trigger's still in this, right? So he is still mining the corner bases. He is still mining more, so maybe, obviously it's worth him trying to stay in this. Like, it makes sense. I'm not asking him to leave the game. I just feel as though by the time this game ends, I'm not sure we're going to have seen anything different for such a long period of time at that stage, because, as far as I'm concerned right now, this is just Trigger, like I say, throwing units into Beyond and finding very superficial damage compared to what he's getting in return. I mean, these Zealots, that's like over 1,000 minerals of Zealots that have ran in here, and they have so far killed 2 Well, they didn't even kill 2 SCVs. They got into mineral line for a moment. I mean, they did nothing. You know? It's a nice storm. It's actually a very nice storm. Gets quite a few SCVs. What do you guys think the resources lost is at? I think resources lost is going to be like... Okay, I don't know what the numbers are going to be. I reckon Trigger is like 9,000 resources lost behind. I actually, you know, resources lost trying to name it out of nowhere is such an interesting thing. I feel like it's been a terrible game resource-wise with Trigger, but the gun has lost things as well. 7k difference, 12. I reckon it's a 9k difference. Let's have a peek. Oh my god, it's like it's almost like 20,000. Yes, it is difficult to, like I say, kind of sometimes really note the resource loss difference. But like 20,000 is okay, I didn't think it was like 20,000 was. I mean, it is a 25-minute game and Trigger's not traded well the entire time. But usually there's like a couple things off screen and you don't count the cost of like some of the tech units that fall. What have we actually lost in this game? We have lost 25 Liberators. Like, that's the thing, like, we've seen Liberators die, but Trigger's also lost 200 Zealots, 100 Stalkers, 18 High Templar. Wild game. Imagine having carriers. The thing is, right, is like, if you go Tempest/carriers or whatever, it's not like you're guaranteed to win either. But I feel like at least it gives you a chance, because then Bjorn has to play differently, and I still think Bjorn having to play against that army comp is going to be more tricky and more room for error than playing against this army comp. At the end of the day. Is repair included in lost resources? It's not exact, because obviously, yeah, you do sometimes repair things. Repair doesn't go into resources lost. Friendly fire doesn't go into resources lost. Like, I don't think Baneling's going to resources lost a lot of the time because they detonate. So they're used instead of lost. So, it's not an exact science, but obviously it gives you a general consensus of where you're at. We're actually about to hit the 30-minute marker. Well, we definitely got ourselves the first game of the day, didn't we? Well, first series of the day. PC's going to teleport from the bottom right to the upper left where there's bio to support them. And I get the feeling the battlecruiser damage output's going to be kind of nutty when you consider they are +3 units. Because we've been building up these ship weapons for everything else in the game. Trigger tries to come around the right side, that goes absolutely nowhere. You're getting battlecruisers in the upper left. You're getting just completely stun-locked in the bottom right. Unable to make any significant move. I mean, up here we are going to get rid of a couple of bio units and the medevacs. And then the BCs are going to fly overhead and say goodbye to every single stalker that stays in range. 25 probes dead in the last few moments as Bjorn has been pressing forward, obviously knocking that base down and finding value. Another big round of Liberators. Just siege. I mean, how many libs are in the game right now? 14. I mean, this is basically just like there's 8 Marauders, 1 tank, but then Battlecruiser, Liberator, Ghost. I mean, there's even only 2 Ghosts. The ground army is limited, actually, from Bjorn. I'm not sure that's going to necessarily matter, but it is limited, so make of that what you will, I suppose. How many resources on one expansion? It's about like 10,000 minerals. I think it's like 10.8k minerals in a base, because it's this is mined. There's no unmined bases because it's like 1800 and a 900 patch, right? 4 times over, I think. Plus obviously some gas as well. So base is worth like 11,000 minerals and a few thousand gas. Bjorn is mined out soon too. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because Bjorn is traded well enough. Like, if Bjorn only, like, if Trigger mining out this base fully wouldn't bring him back in this game. Well, okay, maybe, because it's weird, right? Because if Trigger mines this base, that's 1 base more, but if he mines this base, that's actually then 2 bases more, right? So there's a significant difference because then Bjorn's also not getting those resources, so it's got a bit of a swing when you mine out your opponent's location. Yeah, I mean, there's just no way that this is truly going to be. I mean, at this stage, like I said, Bjorn is on his way to mining out, but he has control enough of the game. And if he really needs to, Bjorn can move to one of these corner bases and hold it down for himself. Like, the reason Trigger is retaking these is because Bjorn has not set up the defenses further along. Because he doesn't want to get caught out. He doesn't want to find himself in trouble. He doesn't want to find himself in a weird position, right? So he wants to try and stay away from these problems and try, you know, like I say, stay clear of his issues. But at the end of the day, that's just kind of unrealistic for the Trigger to kind of stop Bjorn from doing that. So, and Bjorn doesn't even need to do it right now. Like, if he wants to throw himself onto those bases, he could. He just doesn't need it. Like, he's starting to run out of gas, but he's also building 4 BCs at a time. Battlecruisers are actually kind of the ultimate units in TVP. Like, they're extremely good. You just don't see them because they're typically hard to get to. But in this game, Bjorn could kind of do what he wanted, and that was... yeah. A game that probably didn't need to be 30 minutes long. But a game that was kind of cool to see. Alright, Lambo Ryung, a round of 8 that's starting up already because... Lambo got a 2-0 over Uthermal, and Ryung got a walkover over Solar. So Lambo Ryung round of 8. They will eventually meet up with the winner of this series, or the winner of the next series along, blah blah blah. Bunny beat Nicorrect, and everything else looks kind of as expected. So we'll hop on over to NA. Because all the other round of 16 started, it makes sense for us to just go directly into this next round of 16, which is Beyond MaxPax. So we will do exactly that. And get that ready, and we'll go into this round of 16 match in just a few moments' time, guys. Wardy Dad on the 103-month resub on the Prime. Guys, if my dad can still figure out how to hit the Prime button, you guys can as well. Hit that Prime, support the stream, support the Monday Cups, and more. We appreciate you. Wardy Dad for the 103. So I'll run some ads, and we will take a moment or two before this Beyond versus MaxPax scenario breaks out. Oh, what a great start of the day overall. Obviously, there are other streams ongoing, guys. So while we wait for Beyond MaxPax to veto up and everything, let's check in with the other streams going on. Lambo streaming his point of view if you want to check him out. Classic Rogue 1-1 in a Game 3 right now over on the Cranky Ducklings. So if you want to watch some Classic versus Rogue action, the Cranky Ducklings have got you covered. I presume they've been in game the whole series as well. Would love to maybe catch up on that one even. I was thinking today maybe if this is just a 3 to 4 hour stream, we might do a couple of the series from the round of 16 and round of 8 that we don't get to cast live. Obviously we do our best to cast the most interesting matches, but especially like, you know, Classic Rogue's a round of 16 match, like we can't catch all of these, so I might try and get the replays of that and possibly maybe do something with it. On the Steadfast stream, you guys can watch Steadfast. He was on Lambo Uthermal, so I wonder if he's probably going to end up on Lambo Ryung because they're not in game yet. Looks as though they're heading in game soon, perhaps. So a couple other matches going on at this point in time. Like I say, we will go Beyond MaxPax. Let's ask them for the invite when they get ready, and we'll get ready to go and kick things off again. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you guys being here. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. So I always love some of the Monday Cup content. It's always a lot of fun. We're obviously coming off of such an awesome week of streaming as well. The Team Liquid Map Contest tournament. It was a ton of fun. Everything was great. Like the viewership was great. The support has been great. The love on the YouTube has been crazy as well. I'm already noting today that YouTube's up to 300 views in the first hour, which is just bonkers. Like getting to 300 views on YouTube does not happen a lot. So watching on the YouTube again already, hello. Thank you for watching. Thanks for dropping by. Take a second to jump down and hit that like button. It really does help if the stream gets likes. So take a moment to do that. And I will keep on saying that if you really enjoy, do consider supporting us with hitting the sub button as well on YouTube. It's super easy to do. I super appreciate it. And it really does go just such a long way. So do consider checking that out and helping us out. Yeah. There's still the let's have a look. We've actually flipped the balance, guys. We've flipped it, so there's now officially more people subscribed watching the YouTube than not subscribed. I'm looking at the stats from today's stream so far. Apparently we are now at 52% subscribed. We did it. There's still 48% of you that can hit subs though. So do check that out if you can. And yeah, still a lot of new viewers on the YouTube as well. So if you're newer, like I say, a sub. We do this pretty much every day. Cast awesome games of StarCraft. So do check that out. We appreciate you. And I'm only doing this whole spiel because I'm waiting for Beyond and MaxPax to veto. As soon as they're vetoed, we will go. and resume. What's up, Drop Zone Killer? Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Thank you very much indeed. The sub count's been storming along too. We're coming up to 600 already. Love to see it. Looks like Real and Lambo going in game, so if you do want to watch that TVZ, I do believe Steadfast will be in game with them, so if you want to check those out, like I say, Lambo streaming his point of view, or Steadfast will cast for you guys. As obviously Wardy Mondays are open to everybody. If anyone wants to cast, they are welcome to. This came in as an event which was designed to kind of fill the gap left in the community by the ESL Cups, which were pretty open to cast. So same kind of applies here. We do let others cast, and especially because that also allows us to gather more of the replays, which go out to our wonderful sponsors, WardiTV, Winter Gaming, and OSC. You might have heard of a few of those guys. So yeah, thank you so much to those guys for covering in English, and obviously our other community language casters. We appreciate you guys. Persephone! I feel like I've not watched a game on Persephone in years. Let's get into game number 1 of this best of 3. Get set to go. Alright, so going to be MaxPax versus Beyond. Yeah, woof in the distance, Ellie. Having a little excitement downstairs, apparently. GLHF gets called on both sides. And we are into a round of 16 match. I can't believe that Beyond Trigger was a round of 32 of all things. An unlucky seed for Bjorn, like you say. He got seed 16, and that's just slap bang straight into playing against MaxPax here in the round of 16, which is, like I say, it's just a tough draw at the end of the day. In the top left corner, the blue Protoss player is going to be MaxPax, and he does take on the red Terran. Down in the bottom left corner of the map, we have got the Shopify Rebellion's Bjorn. So we settle into TVP, and obviously from one TVP to the next, but like I say, following, it just makes sense because it was ready to start, fresh series, fresh best of 3. We might switch areas of the bracket when it comes to the round of 8, because there's a likelihood the next match on this section is PvP as well, so we'll get to that when we get there, though. We'll see what's available, we'll see what's happening. Probably just heading to the bottom left side. Gateway coming up, the barracks on the way through. Next coming through, Cybercore coming up, Reaper and the Orbital coming up as well. And Persephone. This really is just the probe to watch. There is the Reaper that will pop, and that should deny the probe initially as well. This probe is going to leave a little late to make too much of a gap. Oh, did he not see the barracks was up there? Oh, that's funny. He thought the Reaper was really going to have to come back and deal with him. He presumed the barracks was like here on the map or so. He did not check the corner, so that probe sticks around. That probe could have been long gone and hidden. But yeah, I think he was like, hey, I want to use this probe to make you make a choice. It's obviously not a choice if that Reaper spawns in the base still. You're just going to pop out and kill the probe. So, yeah. Nice little play as the Reaper moves in toward the natural. Pylon on the Nexus going to be there. Twilight Council is the tech choice. No surprise for MaxPax to play the Twilight. MaxPax still playing just very aggressive PvT. Played a mixture of Robobay and Storm openings yesterday in that best of 5 semi-final against CLEM during the Team Liquid Map Contest tournament. So we got a good idea of where MaxPax might be at in this current patch, which is honestly just kind of in a position where he's kind of happy to play a bit of this, a bit of that, and just sort of see where the games are going to go and see what kind of comes out of them. So, you know, like if Reaper pulling away, Starport is indeed producing. That's going to be done in a couple of moments from Bjorn, and that gives us the medevac to get some aggression on this map. Get some opportunity to deal some damage. So we get all of that ready. Marines up in the front, the Hellions gathering around. Looking at the warp kit coming up. The robot facility going to build from MaxPax. Let's just see our gateway coming up around the top side. So we get the gateway coming through. The medevac up the left-hand side as well. Gonna go for a little bit of a boosty boost. I'm gonna load these Marines into the corner of this main. I mean, the Stalkers are a little bit far, so we're gonna have to pull the probes away and try and fight this with Stalkers that can't blink just yet, remember. We actually do need to unload a couple more Marines still. At the same time, the Hellions are into the natural, and MaxPax is completely out of position. 7 probes, but there's a massive group of probes over here. They're lined up, and those Hellions are gonna get a lot of splash damage done. 8 workers killed. Surely we're gonna get more than 1 worker out of that massive line. Hello? Target fire? Anything? Oh my goodness. We are in the main base still with these Marines, still going after probes as well. They're going to get a few more kills, target firing them down. It's been a beautiful opening so far from Bjorn, who does 13 probes of damage, able to get so much done. Ton of value found so far as the Prism and the Stalkers continue to build up, and we are going to see a couple Stalkers can go on the map, but I'm not really sure what you're going to be able to properly, you know, attain by heading onto the map right here with that group of units. Marine, tank, a Viking. Reducing on up, the medevac comes back in. There's just a few Marines, but it only takes a few Marines to force the probes to pull away again. They're going to pull into the choke point. That is not going to help you. Stalkers are going to be up against a siege tank in a moment. I don't think there's the numbers to jump on that siege tank either. We'll delay the bunker, but that's about all. 4 probes went down to that redrop of the Marines, and the Stalkers blink a little bit deeper. This is an awkward moment for Bjorn where you've got to try and find this defense. And so far, we're not quite able to do that. Cancel on the bunker, the few Stalkers peel back, and we have ourselves the Marine Tank Banshee all producing through from Bjorn's again. Some good tech units online. The starport even going to depart from the tech lab and make way for the barracks to start up the other upgrades. But the Viking here able to get some shots off on the Prism and slowly nip our way through that. It puts us in a good position where we are able to just say, hey, look, you know, you can't stick around here with this Prism. You can't keep poking around. You've got to make a decision. You've got to get out of here for the most part, most likely. That is kind of what happens as we get a scan for the Observer there as well. So you take away the vision and the ability for MaxPax to preemptively know every move he's about to make because he can see everything that you are doing. Auto turret gets 2 workers. It's even more lost mining time, and that's just adding up in a world where MaxPax is down 6 workers at 6.5 minutes. He is in a very uncomfortable position. And as Bjorn gets towards the extra tech and so, he is just going to be more and more set to play out a very, very comfortable situation here. Good defense this time against the Prism as well. No kills really allowed. Just a tiny bit of, you know, pulled worker lost, mining time lost. As you have the Stim and the +1 still coming through. The Stalkers on the bottom side will settle as well. Raven just sitting between the main and the natural. Charge and Storm, still building through. We've got our Nexus on the way up. And these Stalkers gathering around there as we just have Marine Marauder still building. We had a couple of barracks into play also. Storm producing, Nexus on the way out. Again, a couple of gates being added on. We had those High Templar in as well. Young will pause. Doesn't happen very often, but we'll take a moment here and hopefully get this sorted out. Ping issue. You know, a lot of players who've had kind of, you know, just little ping issues lately where it's just spiked and surged. Servers are definitely not being our best friends as of late, so hopefully they can do something to try and sustain themselves. Take a moment or two. Any updates on the bracket? Hero 2-1 Percival, Clem 2-1 Creator. So yes, there are updates, but they are based on yeah, I mean expected results, but then it's expected final results, but maps taken that were maybe not expected. So a couple things going on in a couple of those other games, like say Clem dropping a map to Creator, Hero dropping a map to Percival though. Like PVT is clearly still in a little bit of a state of the unknown, right? Where we're not quite completely sure where we're truly at in that matchup yet with a lot of people. I think still just trying things out and figuring out what's working and what's changing, how you can play and all those kind of things too.
Game resumed.
We resume into Stimpack combat and +1 upgrade on the way from Bjorn. Very comfortable position from his opening. He's in a great spot. Storm coming up from MaxPax. This is one of those scenarios where in the last patch, if I was watching this game in the last patch, I would be like, well, I feel like Bjorn's had a great game. It makes sense to me that Bjorn's leading. And then Bjorn would walk across the map, 2 storms, 3 storms, 4 storms drop down, and it's just like, oh, well, yeah, Bjorn can't do anything. Or actually, Bjorn just lost his whole army. And that would be kind of the issue where it's like the Terran gets great damage early, and from that damage, you should be able to take something of a lead. I don't think that should mean you insta-win. But a lead should look like a lead. Whereas it just never really turned into anything else. So we'll see what happens here, and if Bjorn can get across the map and see if this new storm can be anywhere near as effective at kind of zoning and keeping the Terran back with this Terran advantage that Bjorn finds from just very successful harassment super early in the game. Bio stepping straight through, and we are going to see those Stalkers already falling away now. Again, a little bit more done. The Stalkers go on the other side. A couple of medevacs. Gotta be careful. Some Zealot harass coming back through is no surprises there. That MaxPax is right on top of trying to get some work done. So doing the best he can in terms of clearing that up, as Bjorn's not going to go all the way across the other side. 12 SCVs go down, and that's the kind of play you're waiting for from MaxPax. Help bring you back in this game. It's not going to offset the current army sizes, but it does a lot. Push you in the right direction for the future, as now you're going to see Bjorn, a few of these Marines caught off guard as well, so there's another mistake. He's going to stim, but now the tanks are a little bit exposed. Might have to try and save those with the medevac, but just loses the first one. Storm on the Widow Mines, which we're then going to set off anyways with the Zealots, a bit unnecessary perhaps. Mind there, just getting a splash on a couple Stalkers. The main Stalker blinked away, just didn't take the brutal brunt. As the Zealots in the main base are still going huge, so Bjorn is not dealing with that well at all, and MaxPax is able to do very well. These last minute, minute and a half, has really been excellent for him, as so many SCVs dead from Bjorn. I mean, he's now down to being a 38 worker Terran after... I mean, he was in such a good spot. Like, he did so much damage. I was saying, like, his army's going to get on the map and make work happen. He's being completely picked apart by this Prism. No consolidated defense against it. And at the same time, losing the fight in the middle because he was just a little disjointed. And he wasn't ready to fight in the middle of the map while trying to deal with the harassment back at home. And Bjorn walks into trouble. And now sits here in this game number 1. Probably in the losing position because he's just about got a third base in place. He's down 20 workers. He is getting ghosts. He is down the... he's up an upgrade, but I think in the grand scheme of things, he is... he's definitely not looking pretty. Now, obviously, it's still been a rough early game from MaxPax, but he can start to rectify that. I would say if he throws a 4th base down now, there's not really much more to ask of him. He already has a Robo-Bayon coming up, so he's looking for that tech switch as well. Stalkers get in, missile turrets falls, a couple of SCVs will begin to drop. We have the Bio wanting to come in from the other side. We'll drop a little bit of a stim. A few Stalkers getting turned the other side. The SCV still getting hit heavily by those storms. Also just trying to surround the orbital command and try and play the protection game here as MaxPax pokes right on in. And his orbital's going to have to lift in a moment or two, which is not ideal. Obviously clears a lot of space to kind of get in on a bigger concave here if you want to as the Protoss, and then just commit to this fight with no ramps or anything to help you out as the Terran. A little bit of back and forth continues. Not going to find our way in yet. We're still going big with this Raven. It's a 10-kill Raven. It's been very effective over many auto turrets. Pulling back to the bottom left-hand side now. We'll see how it ends up doing. It looks as though it may get home safely at least. No, I think it was a misplay or an F2 or so, because now he's going to the upper right. He will confirm a 4th base coming in there. The Stalker warps in to push the Raven by. And any shot on this Raven is nice because you're going to bring it low. And the lower that Raven is, it's more easily picked off later in this game. Hey, what's up, Masker47? Thank you so much as well for the Prime sub. Appreciate you. Thank you for subbing with the Prime. Alright, Bjorn's going to find a way up here. Good EMPs. First Colossus only just now arriving. I think there's one High Templar in the back that had Storm End. You were going to EMP it from a second Storm. Bio actually gets a pretty good jump from Bjorn. They have to turn around, pull back. A lot of the Zealots going down. Only really the tech units left, which is always scary because if they start dropping, you have to replace them, and that's super expensive. MaxPax will cling on to the main components of his army as Bjorn is forced to back away and hold back here for now. Engineering Bay coming up. The Vikings, the Ghosts, and the Marines coming over. +2 chronoing thermal lens on the way. The robot facility is going to chrono boost onto a Colossus as well. It's just going to get that started for a little bit. We still just have those High Templar cruising about a little. MaxPax still joining up. Clean up. A couple of Vikings on the way. MaxPax continuing to make a push down the right side. Again, the armory coming up. Marine Marauder Viking all coming through. We add on those SCVs. 160 to 180 supply. Army coming down. MaxPax looking to push right here. Fire will be there. Those rocks will go down. And that just, again, locks down a little bit more of a position. The SCV delayed from building that 4th base. Nice storm. Going to hit a lot of units. And yeah, forces a split. A lot of lost attacking time during that split away from that storm. Now another storm going to go toward the Vikings, which are taking a beating as well, especially with a couple of Archons underneath, getting a shot or two off to help out. And Bjorn taking some pretty mega damage there. Overall, his army going to be beaten up and bruised. Extra bio stepping forward, and with the extra little bit of bio stepping in right now, we have that 4th base finishing. Can Bjorn just sit and play defensively here and try and hold on? Or will MaxPax have enough to truly push in and put an end to this opening game of Protoss versus Terran? 3 Colossus, a couple Archons, and a lot of Stormy Boys still available. More shots, just going to be seeing the Orbiter taking some damage, the missile turrets hitting the Colossus, a couple of EMPs coming down, the Archon will take some more damage as well. Storm coming down once more, and again just having Vikings Ghost, upgrades in general building through. The army of MaxPax looking to poke forward here. A lot of stuff in the production tab from Bjorn. I mean, MaxPax is maxed out, so that does make sense. He's now starting to add to his bank as he gets a 5th base established, and hey, even want to start thinking about just dropping base number 6 down as well. Get on the map with map control, money stacking up. This is the point where an extra base and an extra couple of cannons and stacked defense already typically just go a long way, and then we'll stick around through the game. And the Nexus that I'm asking for is now already present on the production tab, so MaxPax thinks the same thing about kind of the preparations made here. Go. First Marine going down, a few Vikings looking to spread out. We are going to see Zealots around in that bottom right-hand side looking for the chance to maybe dive into that base. Couple Colossus again jumped on straight away. Messy fight from MaxPax. Got Storm there, catches the units coming around that corner, keeps them away from the fight. Now they turn around, herd into the Zealots. So the Zealots actually get to jump on that. MaxPax is going to go around the left-hand side. Didn't have a pretty fight at all. Losing the Colossus, not ideal. A few Zealots get on top of the siege tank. We will Storm again, hitting those Ghosts in the front. MaxPax still pushing through. I don't know if he's got enough. He's got all of the Zealots reinforced on the right side. He's not protected his main army at all. He's sending his Zealots everywhere but with the main force, and it's left a lot of his tech units free to be denied. And I think that is a pretty major issue that MaxPax is facing. And he's gotten value out of those Zealots, but it's really left, like I say, that exposed army. And now we sit on 3 Immortals and an Archon, which is not a lot of splash damage. Another Immortal being added with the new Colossus that's in production from MaxPax, but all said and done, I'm not sure if I'm loving this in the slightest. Because that felt like a position for MaxPax that should have been a lot more comfortable, and he just took a series of rough fights. Oh, sorry guys, I misclicked trying to press the buttons for the press the buttons for the graphs. I mean, like I say, he really just prioritized doing more damage around the sides than maybe potentially winning an army fight, because he just had none of his Zealots in the center. Absolutely none at all. Yeah, sorry for the break screen up. At least I saw it happening. Sometimes I fat finger things and I just don't notice. You guys are like, BRB, question mark? can see the position around the left-hand side. Oh, gets EMP'd on every High Templar there. And we've seen the Vikings coming about, going to look for that Colossus. We are going to try and push into this, but again, no real front line of Zealots. The Archons obviously heavily EMP'd, are going to go down quickly. The Immortals are still standing around and fighting for a good amount of time. Again, we're choosing to send the Zealots and a lot of units around over here instead to hit this base and get 21 SCVs. MaxPax is going to clean those up. And again, Bjorn's not in a position to really let this keep happening because he's down 35 workers to 91. The economy of MaxPax is booming in comparison. That's probably part of why MaxPax is trading in the way that he is, because he's just like, as long as I'm keeping on making progress over here in these bases, it's going to be fine for me. I mean, this is no longer a base either, so beyond nigh on all in at this point, as MaxPax with almost triple the worker count. He's going to eat a massive EMP again. The High Templar get EMP'd before they have a chance to do anything. Now we have a couple of Zealots just peeling back. The Archon morphing, going to get killed. So Bjorn's first shove forward has a little bit of potential. 3 Colossus have just joined the field, and Vikings are going to have to get off the ground and back into the skies. We EMP again. Everything going to be EMP'd running in, but now the Zealots on the left-hand side as well. The Colossus not being answered at all. The Vikings have not lifted up, and MaxPax is actually genuinely in still a little bit of trouble. He needs a few more warp ins. It's going to be a group of Stalkers that warp in. He's building 3 Immortals as well. The Vikings getting after those Colossus. Gets 1, 2, and very nearly 3, but not quite. Loses a Nexus here, MaxPax, but at the same time, he's killed 26 SCVs. Because once again, part of the reason why he's not winning the fight is because he's just got a chunk of units elsewhere counterattacking, and MaxPax will clean out game 1 of this best of 3. Oh, I love balanced wine on a Monday, isn't it good? Maybe we'll get into game 2 here in a couple of moments, guys, as we get beyond MaxPax ready to resume. So thanks for a little bit of patience just between the games. They are hosting the map, so I will just jump in on them as they are ready and as they have it hosted. And we can go. It's going to be Pylon for map 2. In the top left-hand side, our blue Protoss player is MaxPax. As in the bottom right, our red Terran is going to be Bjorn. We're playing on Pylon here for the second game. Sorry, I was reading chat comments. When Storm deals less damage over longer time, is EMP too good? I think what we're seeing right now is, so I think what I saw a lot of in this game, and what I think we're seeing a lot of more in general, is that Ghosts are hitting a lot of really good EMPs. And I think the problem is that the Ghosts are not afraid of kind of being up in the front and aggressively looking for EMPs, where in the past, if you step your Ghost forward, you get stormed and they start dying very quickly and you just can't afford those losses. And at the same time, I think it's also because Protoss are not looking for the same storms as before. So because you're not looking for those storms where it's like, I'm trying to clip the edge of the army all the time, you're kind of looking to use the storms a little bit later in the fight, but because of that, the Protoss are clumping the High Templar a lot. They're sitting in the back of the army, and as the Terran pushes forward, the Terran finds the EMP on all High Templar, just as the High Templar are then coming forward looking to storm, right? So I think there's the way in which the Protoss are trying to engage with these new High Templar is still a little bit of a work in progress, because the Terrans are hitting EMPs like they've not hit in months. So obviously as well, Storm has a different range, but I think that combination of Storm range and the fact that you don't necessarily just want to drop Storms instantly, right? Or in the same kind of way as before, I think that combination is definitely allowing us to see a pretty significant increase in terms of EMPs hit. What I don't understand, though, is that we've watched Protoss players for months be amazing at having high Templar everywhere. Like, there's been high Templar here, there, and absolutely, like, all over the place. Like, they're walking in from all part of the army, and that just doesn't seem to be... And that was not the case here for MaxPax. Like, every time in this fight there was an EMP, it was on top of all 7 high Templar. So I don't know what's making him walk around with clumped high Templar, because that's not been the case as of late. So I feel like we're seeing more EMPs, but something is making the Protoss players make the EMPs more valuable as well, right? You don't understand the HP buff on Ghosts? It basically reverts the nerf in TVP because they die from the same amount of Colossus swipes as before. I think because it wasn't intended to be a TVP nerf. I think it was intended to be a TVZ nerf. And so the current change on Ghost basically makes it a nerf in TVZ while maintaining the Ghost in TVP. So, yeah, I think it's just in terms of what you're aiming to kind of direct at, and I think it's fair that we didn't really need to make the Ghost easier to kill in TVP per se. I mean, maybe now you could say that, but I think the Ghost change was really diverted towards TVZ and making Banelings more effective against those Ghosts, so... And I think the HP change is to try and bring a bit more kind of just... kind of more understanding of what we've already know about in TVP, kind of back to the matchup, despite that light tag. And buffing it for your Proxy Ghost? Yeah, Proxy Ghost buff. Yeah. They say there's no balance council, yet Thermal's out here rubbing his hands together after every single one of these patches, huh? Unbelievable. Head back across the map as Beyond looks. Try and get some damage in early in this round 16 matchup. WardiTV Mondays edition 55. Gonna get a little bit of a boost in. Stalker gonna be there. Medevac taking some shots. We will go for the Widow Mine initially. Gonna be 2, and Pro's taking a little bit of a long distance journey to get away there. We are gonna be able to save at least 1 mine. Well, now we're not gonna lose the Medevac. That was micro that left something to be desired from Beyond. Yeah, I had to take a moment to just double check, like, I haven't accidentally just played this first 4.5 minutes of the game myself. Beyond's not in the caster seat being like, no, Wardy, let me play. Because I don't know what that was. I think he was like, I'm going to save the mines. Then he was like, wait, you're attacking my medevac? And he's like, wait, you're attacking my medevac? And he's like, shit. And then he's like, I don't know what to do anymore. He's like, I still want to pick up this mine, but my medevac's dying. Definitely not an ideal moment as the bunker is going to be delayed. The SCV going down. As a few stalkers get set to potentially blink up in toward the main base here. So pressure coming in. Obviously no medevac pressure remaining on the other side of the map. That's just the Raven that's poised behind those bases. And that gives you the chance to be here nice and aggressive with these stalkers. If the tank is well placed, the tank covers a lot of this main base. Just this top corner, this top little sliver of base that isn't covered right now. The second siege tank will cover that perfectly. The thing with this first tank is you're also covering a lot of the natural and this tank here, so there's a lot of kind of the idea of the lack, the overlap of protection of tanks, which is why you don't just unsiege this one and move it up there, because you want to make sure this bait tank is still safe as well. So this will just sit there and the refinery will take some damage. That's going to be a cancel. And a couple stalkers keep on nibbling their way through those gases. So refinery's going down, tank's still going to step forward. Wouldn't mind this tank being a bit further forward as well, but anytime you put a tank over here, it's going to be extremely exposed, so I think, yeah, like here is fine. Anywhere else, maybe not so much where you want to be. So I'm going to look for the main base again. If they blink in, they would have to blink in, then step toward the tank to get a kill on it, so I don't think that's really a viable option just yet. Storm charge coming through, the extra gates coming online, the probes take a chance to get down the bottom. Stalkers will be setting up for the moment. A couple of tanks coming through. And charge and storm will continue to come about as we just have extra gates, the forge and the probes building right now. We scan out to the right side. Not going to be able to do too much. Tanks in good position. They're going to push the Stalkers away. And away they go. We are going to start moving out onto the map. So, a journey to the upper side, as there's a bunch of siege tanks here. Army supply good from beyond 60 to the 42. And then upgrades are about to be done, so it really is a push with some power behind it. The Raven being a bit of a distraction. We recall the Prism back. Stalkers will get back comfortably, so we're going to make sure that we're very committed to the defense here. Those storms available, tanks leading the charge. That was not the fight for Bjorn at all. Too high tempo become an Archon, which is not bad. The storm's already dropped. We're going to stim into the storms. Gets rid of that Archon there. Do we have enough after this from MaxPax? Absolutely we do. The Stalkers alone would deal with this. Never mind the bits and pieces we have beyond that. Bjorn just has the tanks in the front. The Zealots jump on him, and he's not ready to fight at the end of the day. Like, Bjorn is not ready to take this engagement. He does not want this to go the way it's about to go, unfortunately. But alas, what can he really do at that point? Not really much else. Like, Temple on the side takes a bit of damage. This was not the fight, and this has just not been Bjorn's series. He actually had such a great opener in Game 1, but he's making mistakes. He's not playing his best StarCraft 2. I mean, we saw Bjorn versus CLEM the other day. That was a display of what Bjorn can do. If he played like that in this series, this would have been at least a 1-0 lead for Bjorn. The second game, obviously, I mean, we don't know, but that wouldn't have happened either. The second game would have still been up in the air more than likely, but yeah, this is far from the best Bjorn that we've seen. So a heavy mistake kind of game from Bjorn as the Prism heads around into the main. Viking going to be there to start zoning. We actually may get the Prism. Yeah, we should be good, right? Viking stays in reach. Good micro. The Zealots get dealt with. At the same time, though, MaxPax is running toward the front. MaxPax floating 1,200 minerals at the moment, so he has a bunch of money to spend on top of everything else. He does start a Nexus. He does start a second Robo, Colossus, and Thermal Lance, so that's where a lot of his gas is gone. Now Forge 2, so yeah, he had a lot of things that he was getting ready to build. As that Storm just going to keep the Terran back, force you to either split and fight through a choked area or take some splash damage moving through. Has Bjorn ever beaten MaxPax? Yeah, I would say, if I had to guess, the win rate between these guys in the last year and a bit would probably be like 75% for MaxPax, if I had to guess. That's why I'm going to check it, and it's like, I'm completely wrong. I'm going to have to check it now, though. MaxPax, though, is on the verge of taking this fight. The Storm coming down, a couple of Archons trying to step through, the High Templar right there with everything else as well. +2/+1, Thermal Lance coming up, the Armory and the Engineering Bay coming online also. Marine Marauder goes to Concussive Shells. And through 2 as the army of MaxPax pulls up. Back through the top. So yeah, we pull away, we peel back, decide to take a few moments. I mean, nothing wrong with that. You're on a 4-base scenario. Your opponent is barely mining from the 3rd base yet. And we've got upgrades that are about to make life a lot easier, right? Thermal Lance is going to make it easier for these Colossus to be a much bigger part of this game, for example. So that's going to be a huge deal. So yeah, we've got a lot of things that are going to help keep you in a much more positive position here overall. Couple of EMPs actually going to land on that first High Templar in the front. Storm comes down a bit preemptively, but that's again a little bit more fine than it ever used to be before. Preemptive probably doesn't make a lot more sense than it used to. 2/+1 still coming about. A few Zealots getting in. They're going to deal some damage. They're going to get pushed around to the side as well. That's the next Storm coming in once again. Just going to take an opportunity to kind of push forward here. MaxPax with the Storms forcing the Terran back, and then the Archon Colossus chasing through. Right now we're killing an Orbital Command and still winning the fight as well, as 22 SCVs have already dropped. And I think fair to say that this one is very quickly going to be wrapping up. GG's. I'm interested in the MaxPax Bjorn history this year. Let's have a look. This year, Bjorn and MaxPax. Bjorn is 25% in matches against MaxPax, 8-24. Bang on the 75%. How about that? He's on a hefty losing streak. He won 1 best of 3 in their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, now 12 meetings. And then he won a best of 1 before losing 2 more. So he had a lot more success toward the start of this year. The later part of this year has been a wash for Bjorn, to be fair, but... I mean, you saw in this series, like, there was definitely ways Bjorn could have won this series. Like, he should have absolutely had a much better showing in Game 1. And then this Game 2, things went away very quickly. Yeah, more recently, it's been a bit more MaxPax favored. You know, this year, it's up 25-75. I think it makes sense. MaxPax became a better player. PVT has been a tough matchup. Makes a lot of sense as well. I'm already in the semi-finals. I believe Rogue beat Classic, someone said. So Rogue's playing Hero, I presume. Lambo beat Ryung. So Lambo in the semis, Clem in the semis. Lambo will play MaxPax or Mana. And Clem will play Rogue or Classic. Steadfast being casting. Just casting the Lambo series. Or the Ducklings casting. Hero 2 or Rogue already, so it's going to be Hero Clem in the semi-finals. So we actually just go Hero Clem already. Perfect. Perfecto. I might grab those Rogue replays and cast the Rogue replays after, because I'm kind of interested to see him if he beat Classic and then lost to Hero. Then yeah, we can set that up. Hero Clem waiting. Nope, Hero Clem can go. Cool. Alright, I didn't realize Hero had already beaten Rogue is all it came down to. So yeah, Hero versus Clem coming up in a couple of moments then, guys. I'll get that ready to roll. And then we will have the Lambo ZVP semi-final. That will come up next. Obviously both semi-finals will wait for streams, so... yeah, we will go with Hero Clem. First semi-final of the day coming up in a couple minutes, guys. Best of 3 here very soon. We just skipped through the, we just skipped from round of 16 to round of 4. We didn't get a round of 8 match. That's, to be fair, like, our round of 32 match today was maybe more of a round of, like, if you told me this was round of 16 than round of 8, what we just watched, yeah, I understand that too. Just the way the bracket works out, obviously, is making it a bit funky, is all. So, yeah, we'll take a couple moments and get ready to rumbles into Hero versus Clem. If you guys are enjoying the stream, do not forget to hit the follow button. If you're on the YouTube, do not forget to like and subscribe. I say, just because we broke the 50% barrier on the subscribed viewers versus unsubscribed viewers doesn't mean we have to stop. You can keep those YouTube subs coming in. I said it at the start of this year, I was like, man, I really... this year, if we could hit 50,000 YouTube subs, that would be amazing. We actually even added, like, the YouTube sub goal beneath me. And I was like, as the year's gone on, I'm like, man, that is not happening. If we kept up the rate at which we are getting subs right now from the past week, we would, I think, just about clip over 50,000 YouTube subs, which probably means we're nowhere near making it happen. But, like, it's possible. You know, all of it, like, it's possible, actually, more so than it has been before. Last 7 days, we gained 213 subs. How many days are left in this year? How many days left in 2025? 82. That was from Friday for some reason. Why that? 79. So we basically have, like, 11 lots of 213, maybe, like, let's say 11 and a half lots of 213, 2,500. Yeah, we wouldn't be at 50k. And it's probably going to go down. But it could. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, that's why I'm saying it. Keep on pushing it. I'm just filling time because I'm waiting for Clem and Hero to be vetoed up and hosting this game, guys. So give it a couple moments and we should be able to get into that TVP. We'll play some 2v2 together so I can reach it nice. Yeah, my TVT is up to standard as well. Definitely not going to hold you back. How many YouTube accounts should you make to subscribe with? I legally can't tell you that, but, you know, usual. That's good. Wink, wink. We do have a sponsor as well, guys, for the next 10 days or so. It's called GrabTap. It's kind of partnered up with Stream Elements, and I'll show you guys it on stream a bit at the end of the stream. We'll go through the website and stuff, but the TLDR is that you guys know we do a lot of these sponsorships with different games and stuff, and by playing the games and getting to certain levels, you guys can, you know, support the channel usually. It's the same kind of idea, only now you can earn rewards for yourself. So if you play through these games and you know, get to certain levels and certain milestones and complete certain achievements, essentially, you will unlock the like gift cards for yourself and so on. And if you do it via my link, you actually support me in doing so as well. We get money directly from it too. So that is something that's happening. So we'll show you guys the stream for it later. But if you want to check it out, I believe !GrabTap is the chat command in the Twitch channel, and it has already been linked here and there from the Stream Elements bot, so you can check that out if you do so wish. Like I say, they are going to be our sponsor on the stream for the next 10 days or so. So you can see there's the widget there as well. Like I said, I'll show you guys the channel and stuff later on as we get ready to jump into our opening semi-final in the bottom left-hand corner. We're going to start things off with the red Terran player representing Team Liquid. This is going to be CLEM. And he takes on the blue Protoss in the top right corner of the map. We have ourselves Hero, the series I was ready to cast yesterday and we didn't get. CLEM couldn't make it through the semifinals to make it to the finals. So we're going to get some PvT here today in the semifinals of this Monday Cup. Hero versus CLEM. Can CLEM knock Hero down? Or will Hero find their way in the PvT? We are going to be finding out. Exciting semi-final, as always. Always great to watch these guys. And, yeah, let's get to it. Let's see what we get as our first SCV coming across the map. Again, our second semi-final will be Lambo versus the winner of MaxPax and Mana. That's not a guarantee at all because, yeah, Mana's playing good lately. MaxPax's PvP still is shaky. So, that could be an interesting result. And that could be an interesting semi-final in the end. Definitely a bit of a different semi-final. I don't think Lambo's ever been top 4 in the Monday Cup before, so excited to have him here with us as well. SCV moving around. Engineering Bay is starting up. The barracks are on the way through. And, yeah, just playing that Engineering Bay block, but it is a fast scout, so Hero sees it. He pulls the probes. And that's not going to cause much more disruption than lost mining time at the end of the day. So that's going to be the main goal there. Let's just have our orbital command coming up. This SCV obviously retreating back home as well. And a Marine popping out the barracks first. So not going to go into a Reaper. Just going to play with the Marine to start us off. And this Hero probe trying to come across the map for some of that info as well. Going to walk in, see the Marine. Ideally, you just see the command center here and you get that confirmation, which he does. So you know there's an expansion down. You know the Terran's not being too tricksy. And that's actually really good information to play with in these early stages. The command center then on the way on the natural factory still coming up and online. We just have ourselves the reactor building through. Again, a little bit of everything on the way right now as the Adept will take a chance to come running in toward the front. A couple of Marines coming up. The factory building in. A lot of setting up right now as we take a few moments to build into play. And yeah, the Twilight Council coming online as well. Just getting a lot of little bits and pieces up and running. At this point of time, just going to have ourselves the Adept. Going to get turned around by the bunker. Again, the Twilight Council still coming through. The Wolf Gate still coming online. We have the Hellion, we have the Marines, we get that all up and running as well. So Adept's going to shade. I'm just going to try and get around toward the left side. Actually goes up the ramp and sees just a couple Marines on the ramp. Again, this is just going to information gather for the foreseeable future as Hero chooses the blink. Again, here in this matchup, kind of expect him to play. I mean, honestly, he could probably play a little bit of anything. I think that's the beauty right now of Hero in this kind of game, in this matchup, that he actually has got the ability to kind of play as he wishes. I actually think he can play Robe. I think he can kind of play Storm. So I think he's got options here right now as we get settled down. Blink going through that Wolf Gate coming up. The Hellion going to go in after the probe. And the Adept coming back. The Stalker's coming across. moving around for a little bit of time here so far as we just have the Stalker and the Sentry. Gonna finish warping in as well, get that completed, and the hallucination will begin to make a move out down to the bottom left-hand side of the map as well. Hallucination will be there. Matter of fact, take some damage. Let's just see the hallucination pulling back. And 2 more barracks on the way from CLEM, so you want to see how this medevac still across the map would ideally find a way in to these mineral lines and to blow up a few of those probes. So again, ideally we find that opportunity. As again, the blink is about to be done. The Raven is on the way up. And those Marines are going to be able to grab the hallucination as well. Nexus still coming by. Just going to get that finished in the next moment or so. And the medevac will take a few shots. Wooden mines get burrowed. Aiming for the Stalkers, but they peel away. We're going to get 1 shot, 2 shots to take down 2 probes in the end. And now a couple more probes coming about. Battery in production as well. Raven still coming through. The couple workers is nice, but obviously it's kind of like the the draw in this early stage. If you lose the mine and 2 medevac, or 2 mines and a medevac, and you get 2 probes, both players kind of look at each other and give themselves a little nod, like, okay, you know, I respect your defense, I respect your drop. No one's crying afterwards. Everyone's just fine to get to the next stage of the game. As there's going to be Hero blinking into the main base, nice and aggressive, as Hero always will be. Looking for that stim pack cancel, which he will find. So stim cancelled. Obviously, you can cancel combat shield here and restart stim super quickly if you want to, as CLEM. So we'll see if that's what he wants to do. He's not instantly rebuilding a tech lab, so it is going to be a while until stim is back online. Looks as though he's going to keep the combat shield coming up. And obviously, the longer you go without stim, the more exposed you're typically going to end up being, because you're not going to have yourself the upgrade that's kind of really meant to help you against these Stalkers, because it gives you the ability to kind of chase them down a little bit more and so on. This Raven drops 1 order turret. Do we have another one? We did. It's not getting used. The Raven going to try and hide in the back of the battery, doing its thing. There's the new stim pack starting. And again, just going to have to make sure we don't lose that a second time, because that would be a major slowdown in this opening game of the semis. Would be a major slowdown. Products facility is about to be done. We get 5 additional gateways coming online as well. So just bringing all of that straight through right now. As the game +1 in the charge comes up. A little bit of buy will be there. The Stalkers get turned around. Stim pack and +1 still building. Wooden mines will burrow up as well. Big unload of bio units stepping toward the top as we do have the push in. No stim yet though from CLEM, so I mean this fight has just not got any hope at all. And he does get away without taking many losses, but the medevac is going to be bruised up, and that means it's going to be tough to really bring them back into the fight anytime soon as well, so there's not really much we can do in that regard. This Raven going to go down, drops an order turret. That looks like a bit of an F2 Raven, unfortunately, and that's not going to be ideal, not what you're looking for there as CLEM. Losing out on another unit, which, yeah, ideally we would have much rather have kept alive. CLEM just forget he didn't have stim. It feels like you're right, like that felt like he was like poking, he's like, I've got stim any second, but I mean, I could understand if you're like feigning that you have stim, because obviously Hero doesn't know he doesn't have stim. Hero killed a tech lab, right? So unless Hero does the math and puts together, oh, you've got combat shields, that must have been stim, like, because it could have just been combat shield. Then maybe you were feigning the idea that you have stim, but you actually, Hero's just like, cool, then let's fight anyway. I mean, in that moment, you're like, oh god, not what I really want. Not what I'm really looking to achieve. The Dark Shrine is building on the side of Hero. The Nexus coming up, Colossus and the Thermal Lance coming through as well. Wooden Mine connection. It's not going to do too much. There's a few units stimmed down this ramp, chasing the Stalkers away. Zealot Sentry Immortal still gathering together as a couple of those Vikings are going to get nipped at as well. Io getting into good position here and knocking down a bunch of these Zealots. The Zealots going down, Stalker Sentry going down, and CLEM going to get a very comfortable defense right here against an army that is meant to be about kind of the size of army and about to be about these couple of Immortals being very hefty. I don't know why we're still fighting as Hero. Like, he did not need to stop and fight, because he could have been long away. Like, obviously, eventually, yes, you're stuck in the fight, but I actually think he had enough distance on him to just be leaving. And at the very least, the more steps you take toward home before engaging, the closer you are to some reinforcements. That felt like a very tough time for Hero, who loses out in a big way. and is going to be choosing to go into those Colossus as the next step of this tech. Not ideally what Hero is looking for. I wonder if he's thinking, you know, Guardian Shield up, maybe he had a Force Field available too, and that could have maybe perhaps swayed the battle a little bit. Stalker's already used Blink, and so we lose multiple to the Widowmine shot and 1 or 2 shots from units that were hitting toward them. So the Stalker count going down quickly. Bio still gathering. Medevac's joined up. The few Zealots going to make their way toward this natural expansion and trying to get in over there. SCV's still dropping. The Armory and the Engineering Bay very much so coming up. Ghosts coming through. Medevac and Marines coming online. The Vikings still just overhead as we have the Shadow Stride coming up, going to allow us the DT Blink to move around as well. Extended Thermal Lance finishes. The +2 attack coming up. We are going to be seeing this Bioforce going straight across the other side, already hitting a few of these Stalkers. Again, +2 Shadow Stride coming by. Love the opportunity that gives us for harassment later in this game. Here we're just going to say, cool, 5th base for me. Clem is building a 4th. He's going to have that moving into position shortly. So Hero is not like out expanding Clem at a rate at which Clem can't really stay in this or kind of stay competitive or anything. So that's a big deal. Next on the far right hand side, we'll just join up together. We got the 2-2 upgrades coming into place. Again, the +3 attack. Colossus and Gateways coming about. The barracks on the way through. We had on the SCVs. Starport producing as well. Get as much of that up as possible as the bio pulls back down to the bottom. Take a scan. So the Stalkers go the other way. 2-2 upgrades still producing through on the Engineering base right now. Hero's on +2 attack and on his way to +3, but no armor upgrades, so it's just the attack upgrades looking to empower those Colossus laser beams. And now 6 DTs will open in, so this is where Hero's going to try and make this game messy and chaotic by attacking all over the map if possible with those Dark Templar. That will be his goal in these early stages. The DTs make their way around the bottom right side, and they're going to try and get themselves to that 6 o'clock position here sooner rather than later. Try and get in and try and really make something happen as a couple of Widowmines burrow themselves atop this ramp, and that's going to be a perfect position to catch Dark Templar as they arrive. If the detection is there, but obviously there's no detection, so DT is likely just to run on by. I mean, it would be a great position against Zealot run by, but against DTs, yeah, we are going to need the detection, and the DTs blink straight in. We are going to be able to mass repair this, but Clem does not even pull the SCVs. Oh, just slow response from Clem. He's playing a little laggy today, you know. We do kill one DT. We're going to let the Widowmines get the Archons. We actually chase for more DTs. Second scan already. Oh, we're going to morph the Archons. Oh, no, he morphs the Archons. Clem presumes the recall's going down, but it doesn't. Meanwhile, Clem's just busy because he's getting jumped on over here, and he doesn't have enough ground forces. Has to pull everything back. So Hero capitalizes on the situation. A game that Clem was looking comfortable in supply-wise. And the next thing you know, Clem's without a 4th base because of DTs. Too many units pulled across to play the chasing game. And Hero just capitalizes, running up a ramp, and it's not even close. Hero stomps through for a Game 1 victory. Damn. Out of nowhere, honestly, almost. Just, like I say, Clem chases with a bit too much over to that right side. Ends up with an awful fight in the center as well, because he's still chasing DTs and worrying about it. And ends up in, like I say, a very difficult position to put us to a 1-0 lead for the Protoss player in the series. Leyline's going to come up for game number 2. That was honestly building up to being... I don't even know if it was building up to be a great game, but like Clem was in a good position, and I feel like Clem was pretty happy with where he is at. I felt like Hero's pretty happy with where he is at, so it was definitely a thing. Get ready for a game number 2. MaxPax Lambo will be the other semi-final, guys. That PvZ is set up. So it will be MaxPax versus Lambo coming in when Hero Clem ends. So MaxPax Lambo has MaxPax 2 zeros against Mana, so does get a consistent performance on PvP so far today. And if he goes all the way, he might have one more PvP performance. If he gets through Lambo, it may be Hero in that final, because he now leads 1-0 in this semi. As Clem just fell apart a little bit. Those units of Hero stormed up through the center, bam, and Yeah, Clem's army too split apart, too heavily out of position, and punished for it. Well, Clem just going to show us the aggression. Racks 1, Racks 2. It's a map which Playlines gets proxy racks marauded on so freaking much. Because they're going to drop both of the barracks to the top side of the map initially. Just going to put those straight into place as the gate and the assimilator coming through. The probe is on the way by. And both those barracks are going to come up right up to the 12 o'clock here. So, going to put those straight in place. Hero's playing no scouts, so he is as blind as he could be against this. That obviously makes it very difficult to defend. Because you have no idea that it's on the way. You've got no clue that this is happening. Which is obviously not ideal. When Marauder starts up, the probe checking out down in towards the center, and we'll see our second Marauder starting in a few moments. Hero is now scouting. The problem is he's scouting for proxies, not scouting across the map as quickly as he could. So his information on this barracks being, or on this command center being late, on there being no barracks in the Terran base, is truly going to come as late as it possibly can, while still scouting. And that lateness, like I say, is going to really doom you a lot in this game. There's one Stalker out, second Stalker building, nothing else right now. We actually are scouting with this Stalker over to this left. Doesn't get there. This probe is about to run up, and oh no. It's a full wall off, and immediately we drop a battery. Now, let me tell you guys, a battery that's just started building against 3 Marauders is not going to have a good time. This has to be a pro pull. I think we have to protect the batteries, but maybe we just lose the pylon anyway. And we're just going to lose the batteries. I mean, I guess pick and choose your fights. Builds new batteries in the main base, which probably makes a lot of sense because we got to probably defend the main base here soon. Can we get away with this if Clem just gets to kill the natural? I mean, I don't think Clem wants to stick around for the natural. I think he wants value. Force field goes down. We're going to step forward. Oh, great second force field, but he will get rid of one Stalker already. That does feel like a big deal now. The probes are being affected by the force fields. Marauders will get caught in the corner. He tries to turn around onto that other Stalker. Probe's going for all the Marauders. Now the battery's going to finish. We cancelled one. MaxPax talking about confidence here because he's knocked down enough... Hero talking about confidence because he's knocked down enough Marauders. He feels like he doesn't need the extra structure there. I don't know if that was a battery or if it was a pylon that he cancelled. He still has 2 batteries in the main. And we'll just go back onto fighting this low ground. I mean, he kills 6 probes. There's a lot of lost mining time. He obviously has a lot of Marauders coming through. Love the sentry. Again, force the, get a Guardian Shield, force the target fire on the sentry, which the Marauders are not as good about. Now, factory coming up at home. We're going to build... No, we're going to float a barracks there. So Clem's just saying, okay, if I can kill off this expansion, he's not going to keep spamming Marauders. He's going to look toward a follow-up. It's going to be 1 base versus 1 base for a little while. And we'll go from there as we've left 1 barracks on the other side initially. That's now going to float forward. And Clem will go for the command center and begin prepping himself into something of a macro game here. 2 more gates coming out on the side of Hero, as this barracks is going to provide the high ground vision that allows you to chip through this pylon. And that's obviously 1 more pylon you lose this Hero. That's a supply block, because now Hero's new pylon is going to just leave him in the supply block more than anything else. Marauders just trying to trade, and enough Marauders we can actually kill Stalkers through batteries right now. Sentries we do not, but yeah, Stalkers we do, so we've got to be careful. This is better because now it's not all the Marauders can hit the same Stalker, but it does mean we lose all the Marauders. So they will go down. We get 1 away only. That's scary because we've just built those extra gateways, right? So we're going to be up to... Well, we're only going to add 1 gateway, so we're going to be a 2 gateway Protoss player against the Terran who's already building a Cyclone. So I think we're going to be alright. Obviously, Clem will have the speed on the expansion in the end. In the end, I don't think I love that from Clem. Obviously, he killed a Stalker, he killed a Pylon, but then he could have killed the Pylon and stepped away. And had all those Marauders still alive for a later point in this game where actually it'd probably be pretty influential against someone who's going to continue building a lot of Stalkers. So having like 4 Marauders back at home right now would feel amazing in comparison to having no Marauders back at home or 1 Marauder back at home. Yeah, it could have been a big difference. Banshee on the way. Cyclone is going to be followed by a siege tank on the factory. Cyclone taking a moment to turn away, actually, and not wanting to get too involved up over on the other side. A few Adepts will try and shade. The Stalker's pulling back. And Cyclone is right there. Going to take a couple of hallucination shots at the hallucination. Tank will pull back. Obviously, this is a non-tech army, so no blink. We do finish off that Marauder quickly, but the tank pretty much makes it impossible to stick around here because you have no way to close the distance on that tank. If you had blink, you'd be able to blink over and maybe you just kill the tank and win this game. But this is obviously, you know, a no Twilight Council game. At least earlier it was a no Twilight game. Now we're going to play Cloak Banshees, and that's an issue if we don't get detection on the way, because without detection, the Banshees will kill everything. He needs to get back on his gas mining because he's, yeah, okay, he started a second Banshee. Love this sentry. Oh, love that Cyclone lock into the sentry. Lost the vision. Kills a Stalker as Heroes just sat AFK and not responding to the fact his units on the natural are taking damage. Heroes just going to GG out. He sees the Banshee, and I think he just says that he doesn't have a way to deal with Cloak, or he just knows that he's in trouble. Either way, he says GG. And we go to game 3 as CLEM's Marauder Proxy does end up doing enough. A couple of moments where maybe we gave up more than we had to as CLEM, and maybe kind of put himself in a position where it was a little bit trickier than it had to be. I'm going to go game 3 in a moment, but that was the wrong map that got hosted. He just hosted a map called Last Impact. I'm pretty sure that's not in the map pool. So I'll give it a second. And we're going to play Last Fantasy for map 3. So we're actually going to go to Last Fantasy. Get that started up, and we'll get this going in a couple of moments, guys. Hero is going to ready. CLEM is ready. GLHF is called. And Last Fantasy, our 3-player map on this ladder map pool to round out this matchup. Like I say, a little bit of a crazy one, to be honest. As we get this started right away. Let's see what Last Fantasy has in store for us as we go in game 1-1, tied up here between CLEM and Hero. It's a Protoss and a Zerg in the other semifinals with MaxPax and Lambo. Let's see what our day is going to round off like. As we have in the bottom right side, it is going to be CLEM getting the worst spawn in terms of the mineral patch layout. In that top side base is going to be Hero, so a little bit of the RNG works against him there, just to start us off into game number 3. Let's see if we can rectify that, as this is a very interesting map just on its own accord, and rotationally, I like this spawn from CLEM, because I feel like from here you can push through over past the main base onto the natural, right? So you're going to be able to threaten the main while getting toward the natural, and I think that makes it very tricky. Hero probably wants to expand here as a third base, but that means if you're playing this defense here just in case, this space gets left very open. So we'll see what, I mean, obviously you can't be too upset about it. This was always a possibility as you set up on this map at first, so I mean, I guess we'll see how it all ends up as we get going. Perhaps playing some different maps the last few days has made these guys be like, hey, let's play some of the crazier maps in the current map pool, huh? Again, guys, we will change the WardiTV Monday map pool. There is a little bit of a rule as to how many maps we can change with one of our sponsors, OSC. They are part of a bigger circuit, and their circuit has certain rules to kind of keep the tournament somewhat standardized. But we should be able to change 3 maps, and by changing 3 maps, we can add a few maps in that we like from the TLMC and mix up this map pool a little bit while we wait for a new official ladder map pool to come around eventually. Orbital Command will finish, the factory will build, and the Cybernetic support coming on from Hero. As, yeah, Nexus is already coming up, the probe returning with some minerals, and we get ourselves... I say the 1 base opening, but this will be an expansion from CLEM. It's just factory before we expand, so just the more aggressive opening, the tech-heavier opening here from CLEM initially is what we head into just for now. Reaper still stepping across to the left-hand side. Nexus coming through. We are going to drop the battery down. The Reaper hits the probes. Probe's taking a bunch of damage, and it will fall. The Stalker stepping over. Reaper still taking some shots. As it pulls away, is actually going to go down. Mistake from CLEM is that Reaper will fall. I wouldn't mind coming through. Factory coming up. Starport going through for the moment. And Twilight Council is about to finish. The Stalker will come through. The Warp Gate coming about. The Gateway still building. Let's just have my command center finishing in a moment or two. Just getting that CC completed. Oh, he is affirming the fact the command center is finishing. So just some confirmation for us there. As the hallucination comes across and is just going to be trying to get through. So I see the medevac is going to pop up and start trying to get across the map, but hallucination tracking it makes it difficult to end up somewhere interesting with this medevac without just kind of being seen. And then if units just preemptively placed, then what does this medevac ever really gain? Not much. Even worse is if these stalkers just find it and CLEM. He's actually going to say, well, what if I go past those units? Warp in available from Hero? Not just yet. In a moment, you'll have 2 new gates to work with. He's going to have to recall. He recalls to the natural. Medevac obviously low. He can use the Widowminder's zone, and this is going to work for CLEM. Hero being out on the map is going to give CLEM the position in the end. Going to have to give up this probe to the Widowmine. In the end, the sentry goes down to the Widowmine. Oh, the probe's exposed. As finally, at least with the Widowmine used, we can move in with everything else. Obviously, you didn't want to give up a Stalker, which is why you hold back at first. No blink to kind of set it off freely. And CLEM gets the 6 Marines or 5 Marines out with the medevac. And now reinforcing this position. I mean, there's a gateway and a cybercore up for grabs. There's also just kind of a straight up push here. You know, if you want to head toward the natural. That's what I meant about the position or the spawns. As CLEM, you start out in a position where you're immediately set right now to kind of come across and end up kind of poking into your opponent's position. And we're about to kill a cybercore in a game where Hero is played Blink. Like, if you can't warp in Stalkers right now, what are we warping in? And never mind warping in, what we're warping in for down 1 gateway. Well, 1 gateway less of units. Solved that one, didn't we? Not ideal for Heroes. The early game from CLEM is going fantastically at the moment. SCVs across the map. Going to pull in against the Stalkers. The counterattack is interesting. The Viking has landed, though. And I think with high ground and a little bit of micro here, CLEM should be alright. New siege tank available, too. CLEM still pushing at the front. Now there's a Twilight Council under fire. Robo facility starts producing an immortal, but that is a mile away. I don't know if I love that siege tank. I think it's engageable from the high ground, so maybe it's not ideal position to kind of actually have there. Not that I think Hero is currently too bothered about that. Robo depowered with the pylon loss. Stalkers from the other side are going to show up into the 2 siege tanks. That's not ideal either, as maybe we get a pylon up to repower that Robo. Can we kill the Robo before anything else happens? The gateway is depowered too. I mean, disaster after disaster. I feel like I'm reading from a list. What went wrong for Hero this game? This. Oh, those got solved. Oh, no, now this. We are going to get the Robo facility to finish up an Immortal, it seems. Just, and truly just. We need to now stop targeting the Robo and go onto the Immortal instead. 1 tank in the back is still dealing with those Stalkers that were around. Probes pull in as we look to get the 2nd siege tank here as well. The Marines and the Viking putting in work. This tank even takes the chance to siege, which I think is the right call. And Hero is not going to hang on in here. Last Fantasy will not go in his favor. And we will see ourselves a Game 3 decided in favor of CLEM. The quick aggression working out. All started with Hero being out on the map with 2 Stalkers and a Sentry. Feeling like he knew everything because of the hallucination. And CLEM is saying, oh, what if I just run at your base? And that's another way in which the spawn kind of favored CLEM, because I think running to the main base there was more easily done by the fact that he had, you know, the top right versus top left spawn. Again, the rotational advantage of the 3-player map definitely a factor. And that's why Last Fantasy does not see a lot of play. But there's 3 vetoes per player in these series. Like, you know, you can't blame the map when you have so many options to remove it. And that's the game you play. It's a little bit of a dicey roll when you let this Last Fantasy come to the map pool. Let's just have the Nexus is about to go down. I mean, we are just... I mean, Hero's trying to micro his way to survival. I mean, can CLEM possibly tilt out of this situation? I don't think so. As CLEM does take 2-1 advantage, 2-1 win, and he moves into the grand finals of today's WardiTV Monday Cup. He's been very absent from these Monday Cups. He stopped playing towards the end of the previous patch. He has not been in the finals since Edition 50, which was his last win. Like I said before that, he hadn't won since Edition 49. He's only been in the finals 3 times in the last 15 editions, which is, again, when you're talking about CLEM, is pretty crazy because he's the most winning player of this tournament series. This will be his 28th final across 50 5 events. 50% of these cups, he's in the finals of. And then he doesn't even play in all of them. So let that do the talking for you as we swap to Europe for Lambo MaxPax in a couple of moments. We'll get that set and ready to play. And we'll get this going in a couple of moments, guys. So I'll run some ads and we'll get Lambo MaxPax coming through very soon. Pick this off and get this ready to go. Perfect. Throw the ads on. Am I just going to nip BRB 30 seconds? I am. You guys stay there. I'm not going to even put the brakes on. I'll be right back. Hello guys, welcome back. How we doing? Hope you're all doing well. It is time for MaxPax and Lambo in the second semi-final. Love it. Down, we're getting in game, and we're sending it to ley lines for our opening map of this second semi-final. I mean, what's nice about this bracket is that because CLEM won, it's a guaranteed non-mirror matchup final. See if we get a CLEM MaxPax rematch, or we will see if we will get ourselves a new finalist in the team in the WardiTV Mondays in the form of Lambo. I don't think he's ever been top 4 in this event. Actually, he has not been. So this is his first ever top 4. That's very exciting, and yeah, let's keep it going. Let's get into it. As in the top side of the map, we're gonna have ourselves the blue Protoss player. As we enter game 1 of this series, it is MaxPax from Sightstorm Gaming, of course. Repping the shop fight, Rebellion, our Red Zerg. Had some good showings, actually, in the TLMC tournament. I do think his EVP may be kind of sneaky good to have a shot in this series. It is going to be Lambo in the bottom left. Starting on ley lines here for map 1 of the series. Alright, just thinking who I want to follow the camera of, to be honest. Let's go for Coke camera for a little bit. As we get into the semi-final number 2 here today, the 55th WardiTV Monday Cup. Amazing that we are continuing through. It almost feels like it's fun, because right now it feels like we're on the countdown to 100, you know? Like, we've only just got past 50, but it feels like, well, right now the next thing is 100, but the reality is that, you know, that's 45 weeks away, so it's going to take a hot minute, but in theory, we're on the way, you know? We are on the way. What's up, Evolve SC2? Thank you so much for your Prime sub for 5 months. Appreciate you. Actually, guys, we just have a moment in this PvZ early game. I will just take a quick second to sell out. So, obviously, first of all, if you're watching on the YouTube, take a second to hit the like button. It really does not take long. Even if you're on like a console or something, just hit that up button and then boom, move along, get the like button going. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. We stream daily StarCraft 2 on the YouTube and on Twitch, of course. And on Twitch, you can hit that follow button to catch us going live as well in the future. We are going to be here every day this week, same time. We've got some great content planned. I'll talk about more what exactly is coming up later in the show. At the end of the day, I'll talk to you guys about what's coming up for the rest of this week. And obviously, as well as usual, if you want to go above and beyond and help keep these tournaments rolling, these tournaments are funded by, obviously, Loco, Winter, OSC, helping the Monday Cup specifically, but WardiTV tournaments in general are put on because you guys are so supportive, because you guys are able to kind of keep us going, subscribing, using your Prime subs, gifting subs if you're feeling generous. Obviously, just watching helps a lot as well. We do run a lot of ads, and they really do help a lot to pay for the bills. So yes, if you enjoy watching, you want to support, do consider it. It helps us run these events. It helps us have more tournaments to cast and more content to go for. The last thing, of course, to mention is the Patreon page, patreon.com/WardiTV. 100% of anything you pledge on Patreon will end up in a tournament prize pool, which means that it's the perfect way to help support the tournament specifically. So that's patreon.com/WardiTV. And we've just released our most recent replay pack available on Patreon and to subscribers and YouTube members on the Discord. So if you would like to check that out, it's got 540 replays, including 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, all the new maps you just saw, new patch, and all the rest. 540 replays. That is like less than less than 1 cent per replay. You literally cannot be scammed because it's typically about $5 to sub or membership or all the rest. So pretty great deal if you're looking for some replays. Check it out. And thank you so much for listening to the sellout. It is indeed a Void Ray, as some people in chat are concerned about. I'm going to get across and get an Overlord to begin with. Always like the Void Ray as a way to kind of mix it up, and obviously keeps keeps the Zerg a little bit in the dark. And in this case, going to be extremely successful in knocking down a couple of Overlords early on. So that's going to be 2 kills pretty quickly in this game. So 2 Overlords go down. Lambo has spared himself a supply block as new Overlords have come up aplenty. So he actually doesn't get supply blocked, but still, that's minerals on Overlords that have not been where the minerals may usually be. Now, it does take away from the Oracle harassment, so you're not going to be as effective with Oracles, because the first Oracle is much later. But obviously, there's other benefits to be had. What's fun now is that we come back home, because he only had so much success on the bottom left, because he went across the map first and killed those Overlords looking to create map vision. Usually, you would have pulled those Overlords back, because this Overlord would have been killed first. In this case, we actually kill this Overlord now as Overlord 3, and you're still going to deny the majority of the scouting, and you get the benefit of having killed 2 Overlords across the map you probably didn't have access to if you went for them as the Overlords number 2 and Overlord number 3, right? So yeah. What's up, Twinhead Dragoon? Thank you so much for the 3-month resub. Hi, Wardy. Hello, Twinhead Dragoon. How you doing? Thank you so much for resubscribing. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you for keeping the StarCraft rolling. Oracle pulling back to that upper right side. +1 and Blink coming through. Additional gates coming up from MaxPax. Our probes on the way. Zerglings, drones, lair, all coming through. We add on an evolution chamber as well. And yeah, we will let's have that lair about to finish in a moment or two also. As we'll see what Lambo wants to do here. We've seen a lot of Lingbane Hydra as of late. This is not an early upgrade, so this could be more like a missile upgrade kind of Lingbane Hydra, into kind of the idea of getting toward Lurkers a bit sooner. Melee upgrade still on the table, and it is going to be melee upgrade as the choice, and that's still, it could be Lingbane Hydra. We actually have a Roach Roaring down because I think Lambo was a bit afraid of what might happen in this game, so he's going to get Roach speed and play kind of Ling Roach initially. Oracle's hanging around, a couple Lings go down, Stalkers gathering up together, and again, Temple Archives and a few probes still building through as well, so we get all of that coming about as the pylons and the assimilator coming over as well. Oracle will drop another stasis ward down. Our Stalkers will go hitting through this hatchery. The Zerglings making their way to the upper right. Going to be a massive catch on the stasis ward. Get a good chunk of the Lings. This is fine for Lambo though, right? Economy looking okay. He is going to go Infestation Pit, so we're not seeing the kind of the Lingbane Hydra, as we kind of know because it's Roach speed as well. But just looking to kind of push these Stalkers back, keep them away. Obviously a couple of stasis wards trying to do their thing. Stasis ward's not as effective and can't have as many as before, but still obviously good if your opponent runs into the couple you can put down. The Void Ray is making a play for the Roach Roaring, and for some reason the Queen stops firing back, and as Lambo loses a Queen over to the right side as well. I don't know why this Queen stopped attacking. I actually have no idea what happened there. That's really bad, because we're going to lose the Roach Roaring and the Roach speed that was building. I actually have no idea why that Queen stopped attacking. It was already hitting the Void Ray, as far as I was aware. That's rough. So at this point, we're going to build some infestors. I mean, he built a few roaches. At this point, it probably feels like we're going to go infest a Ling Bane. And then a hive coming online, we just probably go rush up into Ultralisks and just hope that that can do something for you. But that's definitely not ideal compared to what we're... I mean, maybe the roach run really was just precautionary and hey, we're going to build a few roaches, so let's get roach speed. But maybe that roach speed is just going to be some money saved in the end. I don't know. It doesn't seem ideal, but I'm trying to look on the bright side of life here for our Zerg in the semifinals. It's so rare that we get a Zerg to the finals, and it's even rarer we have a Zerg win this tournament. So I will always cheer on Zerg when we have someone in the semis, especially a Lambo who doesn't play in a lot of the weekly cups. He doesn't play in a lot of the online events. So it's actually really nice to see him taking part and giving this a go. It wouldn't surprise me if you told me that this was like Lambo's like third time playing this series or something, you know? Like he plays so few of these. Him playing like 3 times over the course of a year would not shock me, you know? He's going to get Microbial Shroud, which obviously backs up the idea of an Ultra Cavern as well, because then we're going to Shroud, and then Shroud is going to protect you from a lot of the Protoss damage while it doesn't negate any of your own units, which are all melee-based. That's definitely the big part of the plan that we're going for. The Zealot Stalk High Templar Jet gathering up, the Oracle right there, and we have the +2 attack upgrade coming up as well as we just make our way down. MaxPax big army. I fear that Lambo is not set up for what he wants to be playing with right now. Like, there's a lot of things missing. I like this, though. He threatens the idea of the attack. The Lings on the other side can hunt for either reinforcements, which there is no prism here, I believe. Yeah, either reinforcements or the potential of going and aiming at the bases across the other side. Either way, you should have your opponent a little bit worried and concerned by those Lings. And you're buying yourself time. Ultra Cavern coming up. That Microbial Shroud may yet finish. And Lambo doing a good job of just buying himself some time. Loses a couple Overlords there, and that will supply block just as we're able to build Ultras, unfortunately. Not ideal. 4 new Overlords start, so it's going to delay the Ultras from coming onto the map. I mean, it's going to make them line up a bit better with kindness, so maybe it's not the end of the world, but yeah, I mean, obviously I think we would have liked to just have had access to the Ultras by now. Because the Ultra Cavern is done. Stargate in a second, and a Fleet Beacon on the way up, so we are going to send ourselves to the later stage of this game as MaxPax. He's not going to try and do this with, you know, the cheap end of the sticks. He's going to try and do this properly. And do have ourselves the Stalks and the High Templars pushing forward. The Hatchery already going down. Storm clipping a couple of those Lings. We're losing drones. The Zealots in the natural expansion. 10 workers go down already. Waiting to see if some of the larger fights can really kind of draw Lambo into a better state right now. 5 Ultras coming up. The Spire coming through. Continue to get that established for the moment as we continue to settle. Just going to see our Ling Bane Infestor moving about. Stalker, Archon, High Templar joining as well, as we do have a couple carriers coming online. The Mothership is coming in. And the +1 air weapons and the +3 attack upgrade coming up from MaxPax as well. It's going to be a nice storm. Might get a handful of drones on that mineral line. We obviously are looking for the wraparound. Lambo looking to come in from all sides to make this the engagement he really is dreaming of. The stasis wards are scary, but if we could pop those with just a couple of Lings, which were about to have happened, then this is a map which has some area to kind of, like I say, play the big surround on. The Lings are going to threaten on this other side. What I don't love is that 2 of the Infestors are over here, because like I say, this initially felt like more of a surrounding army, not a harassing army. The Infestors have no reason to be here, and you can see those Stalkers are like, yep, let's go. Actually drops the fungal growth on them, but we lose both anyway, so 2 Infestors go down. I actually don't know if I would have hated him just committing to the surround there. Like, the Ultras were coming out. I mean, the base there obviously survives as well, so that Nexus living feels not so great as... I don't know if I love MaxPax's army. Obviously, the carriers on the way is going to make that a very different vibe, though. They're going to help a lot, but if Lambo could create a fight right now, then I actually think I like it a lot if he gets a fight right now. The question is, does he get the fight right now? I mean, so far, no is the answer. Gonna try and run Ling Ultra up onto this. Cloaking comes down, immediately we pull away. 4 new Infestors being added on. Overlord speed, Flyer Carapace. So we do have the Spire ready to begin producing anti-air, because we're going to need a Corrupt account to really deal with these carriers and the Mothership and so on. That kind of becomes a necessity at this stage. Because MaxPax is seeing so many Ultras, he's adding on the correct units as well. 2 more Robos means Immortals can be added. Obviously, we added on a couple more Archons. They're going to go a long way too. And it's starting to look a bit less likely that we have a reasonable fight here. Infestors just wandering as well. Again, it's trying to get to the rest of the army. These Infestors are just kind of moving around trying to get to the rest of the army are becoming a problem. MaxPax just keeps picking them off. That's the third infestor that just is not where it should realistically be, right? Feedback, and then 2 infestors go down. Like, these units, like, that, it's great to have the infestors split if you're going to end up taking the big wraparound fight. But these infestors being split when you're ending up just kind of going for run-bys, they're just awkward. Like, they're slow-moving, they're not fast like the rest of the force. They get left behind, they get caught in the open, they get picked off on the retreat, and that is just, like I say, a value being lost here that you would have preferred to have, you know, kept in your favor. Carrier's going to work. 5, 6, 7 workers going down. Start that off. Here come the Ultras. Now going to commit to this fight. All the positions we've had on this map to take an engagement, this one does begin to feel very uninspired on the Zerg side because you're just running in from one angle. Lambo's supply plummets. I mean, in the end, this becomes desperation because you're losing bases. You're not able to stay up in the game. And I think this truly is just a game where... I think it's really just a game where you start losing it a while ago, and unfortunately you just never really kind of get comfortable again. Just you were losing in little ways, and they became much bigger issues eventually. Hello.
Hey, hello. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Nice of you to show up.
Yeah, it is a tough day, man.
Tough day. What happened?
Yeah. I picked up Irene this morning at the airport, like early on, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go for like a 1-hour nap. It wasn't a 1-hour nap party.
Not the 1-hour nap.
No, I didn't even take off my clothes. That's how 1 hour the nap was gonna be. I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a short one, you know? It wasn't. I woke up and I see my favorite tournament of the Monday is already in the second semifinals. I'm like, what the hell is going on over here? I wanted to play this.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not opposed to casting the semifinals because usually I'm not there anyway. But yeah, it was painful to see it start without my attendance.
Yeah, we missed you. You know, I was looking for that first round Hearthstone appearance, always competitive, and
yeah, the first round games are always good. You're playing against a high diamond, mid platinum player. It can get exciting there for sure. Then I get destroyed by CLEM, but you know it's a day for someone. Ooh, MaxPax tried to go for the block. Lambo stops him with a, what the hell was this? This was a 14 hatch or a 15 hatch, right?
I wasn't watching. I was listening to your story.
Okay, this is kind of a race to the bottom when it comes to economy. So as a Protoss player, if you send your first worker across the map, you arrive just too late to block a 14 hatch. But if Zerg goes for a 14 hatch and TOS opens up with like a no scout or just with a lay scout, the eco is quite bad for Zerg because it's not an optimal build order at all. So Lambo here got the correct thing going for him pretty much. Like, this is the perfect build for him against what MaxPax was doing. MaxPax lost a lot of cash going across the map with his probe so early on, and now MaxPax is going to be delayed with everything else. So his core is going to be late, his Stargate's going to be late, his Nexus is going to be late. Like, he just lost a crap ton of money because it's one of your 12 workers that goes across the map, does absolutely nothing over there.
And money is the source of everything in StarCraft, believe it or not. Nothing comes without minerals.
Yeah, that is true. Minerals are really the economy resource as well, right? Like, gas is for tech, money or minerals are for economy. Everything you require to increase your eco, Nexi, probes, pylons, always requires minerals. So usually a good rule to kind of figure out whether something is a good economical opener or not, or like if it's more focused on tech, is just to see the gas timings on stuff. The faster the gas is coming out, the less money your opponent's gonna have. That's why it's such an important thing to usually, if you're playing against Zerg, to keep track of gas. Like, if the gas are coming down too quick, it usually means some type of push is coming. So that's like a major indicator. And in this case, you know, the lack of minerals is going to be an indicator that Lambo won the battle of the wits in the early game.
Well, what have your experiences been of PvZ since we've had the patch? Because I feel like we've seen so much Lingbane Hydra, so much kind of Lingbane in general. Is that what you've been playing a lot against?
Yeah, so I think one of the main things about like a major change that we've seen for sure is that Stalker, Templar, 1-2 Archon move outs used to be extremely common. I think they're a little bit, like, not a little bit, they're significantly worse right now against any type of Bane composition. We still see them happen, especially if the Protoss player has a good early game and they want to kind of push that advantage in the mid game. But if it's a standard even game, Tusk goes out for a push like that. If there are Banelings out, I think you just die, because catching Lings with Storm and catching Banelings with Storm is just significantly worse in these types of engagements. Like when you can get surrounded, you're just not going to kill the units before they reach your army, and thus your army will die. So it's one of these things where it requires a different type of setup. MaxPax here is going to open up with a fast third base on Incorporeal. Another thing, I guess we have just seen less lurker play as well, overall.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that is because Storm is better against lurkers or because Banelings are just much better as a mid-game tool now.
Yeah, I think there's less reason to go to lurkers a lot of the time, because we're still seeing them if you need to go there. It's just the need to go there just feels less, so yeah. I think that's more of a consequence. And yes, they're not as good against Storm, but surely we can't just stop building lurkers, because like 2 Storms to kill them instead of 3 if you sit your lurkers through the entire thing. So
yeah, and another thing is that the range, like the lower range on the Templar, actually feels really bad against lurkers. Like when I play against lurkers with the lower, it just feels weird in a way. It's like, oh, like you're really vulnerable with the Templar to cast that Storm. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure if lurkers are actually worse or if Banelings are just that much better, that Zerg just always wants to get Banelings. And we are seeing a melee rush coming out of Lambo right now, as the Baneling nest being thrown down fairly early, by the way, 4:30 or so. That's like the safest timing you can go for. We have Twilight, Forge as a follow-up. I'm curious how we're going to spend our Chrono Boost. It's usually a good indicator as to what the plan of the Protoss is going to be. Is this Void Ray? It's going pretty freaking deep over here. Two Queens are just idling near the third base, as the Oracles are going to get a kill on the Queen, going to get 2 drone kills as well.
yeah. I mean, that was a really nice just little pushback, no? Just Void Ray kind of feels like it's dying, and then boom, next thing you know, you kill a Queen, you get a couple drones. The other Queens were just sat back and not maybe as close as they could have been to perhaps help things out here as the charge and the +1 comes about. A quick moment to say hi to Risky, who said Alex says hi, so I feel it would be rude to not say hi back. So
Hi back.
yeah, nailed it. Great participation. We can talk about StarCraft again. Oh,
Yeah, nice. Ooh, look at the drones, look at the drones.
oh he nearly got the Evo Chamber down that one. Gonna get 3-4. There's no Queens over in the natural right now, so that's going to be an issue as well. As the Temple Archives and that Zealot count continues through. So we get the Zealot count coming up, charging +1. And yeah, just Lambo getting bullied a little bit early and just not really getting into like a clean mid-game is quite similar to what happened in Game 1 as well.
Yeah, but what is the plan here for MaxPax? Look at this. He's playing charge, no gas on the third. But he does have a Templar Archives and 6 gates. So it feels to me like he wants to go for a very committed push here. And we now see a Robo plus Storm and the extra gas is coming in. Like this is going to be very difficult to hold here for Lambo. Well, he doesn't have any Banelings ready. This is 13 Zealots. They don't quite have +1 yet, so it's a bit ill-timed, but I don't think it matters. There's only 4 Queens. Oracles are nearby as well. They can definitely help against those Lings, as Banelings are being morphed right now, but without any Queens nearby, it's just going to be so freaking tough to deal with this. This fourth base is toast. Right side base is going to get attacked by the Void Ray as well right now. I'm expecting complete control of this game.
Yep, this is looking very, very just comfortable for him, right? As the Banes are going to now try and force these Zealots to split, and that's exactly what we needed 30, 40 seconds ago to actually just deal with this comfortably. Just the consequence of Lambo being caught up and not having a smooth early game, and then this time he just catches him, just not quite ready either. He does clean up in a big way, so you're down a 4th base, you're rebuilding on that right side. I mean, we're actually still on an okay drone count, our army count is reasonable, but of course MaxPax now much more freely gets towards Storm than he would have done otherwise. And he's getting a couple Archons in already. Do you think there's potential here for a time of Lambo going across the map? Do we think with some danger possibly for MaxPax?
I don't know, but he'll have to because he just lost his forward base to the Void Ray.
His Void Ray
if it wasn't for that, I would say Lambo's actually in a very playable position, right? He can probably stay in for a little bit longer, but right now, he absolutely can't. MaxPax doesn't actually have that many units. He was doing all of this off of 6 gateways, which means that his rebuilding is going to be a bit slower than you ideally want. There are 2 Archons out and only 2 Templar that could potentially have a Storm. First 2 Immortals also hit the field, but +1 melee, +1 range, 20 Banelings. I don't quite see how MaxPax holds this fort base, especially if he's out of position. Like, he's going to need some monstrous storms over here.
Yeah, good bait as well initially from Lambo. He was so ready to pull those Banes back. He lost 1 and he gets away, so that's 1 storm down. And, you know, we're not, stacked on storms right now, so every one you waste is going to be a big deal. 4th does go down. And Lambo playing this high ground area has a lot of space to kind of split up and play with, so it's difficult to cover everything in Storm at the moment. Archon going to struggle with range against those Hydras as well. A couple of Mortals get some shots off, but more Banes joining. And there's even the potential to maybe try and pincer in from 2 sides. MaxPax realizing he's in trouble, starts to send some units to counterattack and forces Lambo to play back at home as well as on the map. And that is one of the things we kind of need right now, because Lambo is very focused on attacking. Having to pull back really breaks that momentum and breaks that position.
Yep, and it's one of the hardest things to deal with if you're playing Hydra Ling Bane, because neither Hydras or Lings in low numbers deal well with Zealots. So you either need a very superior force of Ling Hydra, or you're going to need Banelings, but you never pre-split Banelings because that's idiotic. Also, Banelings defensively are not that great against low numbers of Zealots, so it's just almost always the correct call to send all of your Zealots across the map. And while you're doing that, you're increasing kind of like your, what I would call the gas army. So these are your Archons, your Immortals, your Templar. You want to make that much bigger while you're sending Zealots across the map, and you don't even have to deal damage. You just need to delay until you get 7, 8 Archons out, and you're just going to absolutely ravage the Zerg force. As Bane is running in, not going to get the connections that they want with the probe. Not the greatest Baneling control there. I feel like could have been some better hits there, as MaxPax is going to keep this 3rd base fairly easily. Lambo at the same time is attacking the 4th, and we'll get a cancel on this. As the probes move over, and 11 go down at an instant.
Yeah, and maintains a lot of those Banes. Some of the Lings getting out too, so able to get a little bit more value there, and he keeps MaxPax down on those 3 bases, which is beginning to make up a little bit for the fact that obviously he struggled with his 4th base. That got killed twice over. Now you've kept MaxPax off that 4th a bit longer. It just keeps you kind of playing the game. It's still not ideal, but you have a chance, and you're still going to have an army that can potentially take a fight at some point. And Lambo is still building into just Ling Hydra. Obviously, Bane's as an opportunity to be added onto. He knows he's got to keep this aggression up. He's now going to go and split. So he's going to try and force MaxPax to overcommit to the right side, and this time actually swing on the left at the same time, and hopefully maybe knock down that base. If he can do that, that would be amazing. But MaxPax is very forward and very defensive on the right, so I don't think Lambo's going to find the pull away that he's looking for on the left.
Yeah, Observer doing some good work here for MaxPax as he manages to split accurately this time around. We have Banelings that want to hit the 4th base by themselves, I guess, or maybe go up the ramp. But yeah, MaxPax's army right now is great. A couple of good zoning storms here coming in. Immortal count is up to, what is it, 9 right now. That just packs a serious punch. 6 Archons, 9 Immortals. Then the storms to kind of add in as a bonus there. As MaxPax is moving very far towards his 4th base. It was kind of out of position here. The Immortals on the left side army are going to get taken out. Not the greatest start of the fight for MaxPax. I love the concave here for Lambo.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. He did eat a couple of the storms. He's going to get some Banelings freed in a few moments that can come in from the right. I'm not sure what they really want to try and do, but we're out of storms, so we don't have a great way to deal with the Banes. They're just going to kind of run through and hit whatever they get, kind of, they're just going to take shots and basically blow up on whatever's nearby. But without much splash damage here, these Hydras now have a real opportunity. A couple of Banes are going to find the Zealots morphing on the left, so they're going to soften those up. That's huge because it gives these Hydras a bit more of a chance to move through them. Storm is good, though. I don't know where we found that Storm from, but we do get it off, and that is a big deal. Zealots across the map at the same time. Lambo is taking so much eco damage, and if it were not for that, maybe some reinforcements would be here to make a difference. But MaxPax is just good enough in the end defensively. Close, kind of daring, a bit exciting, but in the end, still MaxPax getting the 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, Lambo was just in a bad spot after the early game, but he almost managed to make it work. Like, if he doesn't, even if he doesn't lose that 4th base when he does, I think MaxPax is going to be in some trouble. Lambo was on 75 workers at that point. He cancels the 4th base twice. Like, that's a very big deal. But yeah, in the end, it doesn't really matter. MaxPax is going to advance into the finals where he will be playing against CLEM. How was the first semifinals? Was it any good?
Yeah, it was a mixed bag, actually. It was so game 1, basically I think Clem had a very good start and he got in a good position, and then he chased 6 DTs and lost.
Oh wow.
Like
what a mistake.
he chased 6 DTs and then like Hero just attacked with the whole army into like 70% of Clem's army and won from a bad spot. So and then game 2 Clem proxy marauded, and then game 3 was Last Fantasy and Hero was on the map with 2 stalkers when the medevac flew past him. So
Really?
like he had the
how did
hallucination on the medevac, and then was just like, and it was like, I'll intercept that, and Clem was just like, I'll boost past you, and it was a disaster.
Yeah. I hate when that happens. How did Hero try to defend the proxy 2 racks?
He had no idea it was coming.
Oh, okay, it's a tough defense then.
Yeah. He lost the 2 batteries low ground before they were even halfway made, and then he tried to defend main base, and he actually had a good, like, he force fielded the marauders in, so he actually cleaned up the first 5 marauders, but at the cost of like 6 probes and stalkers. And Clem ended up transitioning after like 5 more marauders, but Hero was just behind. He had no chance really. Like, it was just good enough because Clem, with the next 5 marauders, Clem cleaned out the natural, and then he was ahead on the expansion. And
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
All right. Want to do some shout outs and advertisements?
Sure. I mean, I'm gonna run the advertisements. I don't have shoutouts.
Okay. Shout out to Ulu for the Twitch Prime.
Huge.
Yeah. Big ups. And then medium shout out for Liquid Cheese, who said that video of Hero versus MaxPax on Hearthstone Cast was the best 3 minutes and 43 seconds of my life. I accidentally uploaded the wrong file. So I woke up just now to like a couple of people making fun of me in my Discord, which is always nice.
You just upload like 3 minutes of a PvP that you just gave up on, or?
No, like I have the entire series casted. I just don't know where the rest went. So I'm gonna have to
So it was just like one game
later today.
Was it just one game, or was it like you actually just lost like half a game and stuff as well?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just removed it. I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. I hate it when this stuff happens. I didn't even open the comments. You just remove the video and pretend it never happened. No apologies. Just boom, it's gone. Never happened. Yeah. It's the best course of action. And I'll kick the people who pointed it out in the Discord because you don't want to keep these type of snitches around.
Nice.
It's tough. What do you think we're gonna see here? What's the chance that Clem will go for Proxy Rex Marauder again? I think it's very low against MaxPax, right?
Proxy Marauder against MaxPax? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he was tilted
MaxPax
after
is
game
a
1.
scouter. Yeah.
I think it was truly a tilt build. Like, he just, like, game 1 was definitely like an F Protoss moment, and then I think he was mentally done, and then he brought it back with the proxies. So maybe if he's 2-0 down, but even then, I think he's more likely to jump into a PvP.
Oh, that's also true. Yeah, he's many options nowadays.
Yeah. And his PvP is surprisingly good as well. Even my YouTube knows about your disastrous YouTube video. I'm getting all the details. Not even a full game. Yeah, I love that. A classic. You know, once I exported my video from Premiere, right? But for some reason it didn't export the video I clicked on, it exported the original file. So then I uploaded this video, and it's like, it takes a bit longer to upload. I'm like, that's weird. Anyway, so I upload like a 7-hour full stream VOD. So it's like, Clem versus MaxPax, and everyone's like, I can't believe I had to watch 4.5 hours to see Clem MaxPax. Such clickbait.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible. I don't know what to tell you. And it happens every now and again, you know, with the frequency at which I upload. Like, it's gotta... Sometimes, so when you record something, like I have multiple soundtracks, like what you call them, like audio tracks. So if you don't render it properly, like it will, I think it will play actually no sounds, or it will pick like the main audio track. I don't know how it works. I think it will probably pick audio track number 1. So then you just get a game with no sounds, or you get a game with no voice or whatever. It's freaking awful. Damn. It's happened many times before as well. Yeah.
Evil. MaxPax and Clem are videoing like they've never seen the map pool before.
Are they videoing in public or?
No, I presume they've started though. These guys are usually eager to game. Clem nearly got disqualified today, actually.
Why?
He just didn't show up for like the walkover time, and his opponent was very adamant that it was walkover time, and I was like, I'm like, he's logging in, he'll be here, and he's like, it's walkover time. I'm like, buddy, it doesn't matter how many times you tell me that, it's my tournament. You're not getting a walkover over Clem.
Walkover Clem. Why would he do that?
I'm like, bro, like, you know. Dude's logging in. I think we can wait 3 more minutes to keep Clem in the tournament. The classic moment.
I love that. You know, rules are rules, Wardy.
Hey, the rules are rules, but it does also say admins make final decisions. So
that is true. You are the admin. You make the final decision.
Yeah,
that is great, though.
We all
I
know
love that for for you, that you could keep him in.
The walkover rule's really there to just get rid of people that are just not going to show up at all, not the guy that is absolutely going to show up just 2 or 3 minutes beyond the walkover time. So
yeah. No, of course, it's completely fair.
Yeah.
Hey, what was your favorite map from the TLMC?
My favorite?
Yeah.
I had a few favorites for different reasons. So I really liked Ruby Rock, but in a very standard way. Like, to me, if Ruby Rock was in the map pool, I'd be like, I'm just happy to see this map a lot. And I think it would be played a good amount of times. I really like that map. I really like 10,000 feet, because I thought it was really fun watching armies move around that map.
Of course, because you're into that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly why, yeah.
This one set of feet isn't good enough for you anymore.
Yeah, I saw it and I was just like, there's no way this map doesn't do it for me, right? Yeah.
10,000 feet, nice.
Incredible. Are you in the lobby, by the way?
This is how we get the feet fetishist community involved in the StarCraft.
Yeah. But that map was kind of fun to like watching armies move around and stuff. So that was kind of cool. I think those were my standout. I thought Mothership was cool for a 3-player map as well.
What about Old Republic? You didn't like that?
It was okay. I didn't think it was like I think it was I think that's like in TLMC I always have these like quietly good maps which are just like you don't appreciate they're good because they don't have like maybe the craziest game, but you also don't think of them too much because like they're just good standard maps, you know. So Old Republic's kind of that in that category where I think it's good, it's solid. I just don't have like a crazy game memory from it where I'm like, oh yeah, that map was so sick or something, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So yeah, I think yeah, there's a few maps that are like that where I'm like, it's hard for me. I don't have like a way to pick between like 3 or 4 of these maps that are like I just think are very good, would make for good games. Hard to justify not putting them in the ladder. So
yeah, what do you think of the talisman, by the way?
That's no good. The problem is because it's a bit quirky, right? But because it's already been used in a bunch of tournaments, it's already people are already over it, right? It's not like fun new where it's like, oh, this will be fun to play on for a bit because all the pros at least have already played on it, so no one wants to play it. So I think if you put it in a map pool, it's just gonna get vetoed because like, oh, it's different, but like I've already seen this.
It's gonna be like Last Fantasy pretty much.
It's like Last Fantasy, only we don't even get the guys who are like interested in playing something different because it's like they've already played it before, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a wasted map spot. Sadly.
Yeah.
I think they met. I don't know. I know it's not been like a TLMC finalist, but I feel like if you've been played in like, I think if a map's been played or been used by like multiple community events, I don't think it should be in a TLMC because it just the players didn't even want to play it. Like everyone wants to play maps they've not seen before, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Look at this. MaxPax gambled on the right side. You can either go for the triangle or you can go for the line. Now the line is worse, but it's less likely for there to be an SCV there. And MaxPax gambled that correctly. Imagine if Clem would have gone to the line to block that. That would have been like he would have been the super winner of the meta games.
The super
What a gangster.
winner.
Yeah, the super. Now he's just like, I mean, still kind of a winner, you know. Like, I'm pretty sure that if you tell Clem that this is the scenario that plays out from his eBay block, he'd be like, all right, where do I sign? Like, this is good, you know. You get you force your opponent on the line, and you block their natural without any problems. MaxPax also was supply blocked on the adapt, so his core actually finished at 158, which means that the adapt, if it can start instantly, will come out at, what is it, 218. But for whatever reason, the second pylon wasn't fast enough. So this adept actually came out at 222, which is frustrating because the CC was significantly delayed. So potentially he could have dealt some damage, or at least, you know, tried fighting with these Marines a little bit. But right now, the CC is just going to go up. This bunker is going to finish as well, and there's going to be well no pain here whatsoever for CLEM. This is probably one of the best setups you can have with an eBay block.
Lovely for CLEM. Well, a good way to start this series off as that commences and it finishes. The Adept tries to get through. And that MaxPax Stargate. Obviously, PvT is a matchup that's really up in the air right now in terms of builds. We're seeing this Stargate kind of come back in a big way now.
Yeah, it's because of the Cyclone nerf.
Yeah. It's like, it's good enough just to make Stargate openers realistic again.
Yeah, I don't think you automatically die anymore, which is a huge plus for a build order.
Yeah, I mean,
like, it's
yeah.
really tough to hold like Phoenix or like Colossus, Jesus, Cyclone Viking pushes when you're going like Phoenixes, because the Cyclones are so freaking good and they're constantly like retargeting whenever they want. Now it's just a little bit weaker, so I think the chance of surviving is a bit higher. You still have the general issues that Phoenix has, which is delayed tech, delayed AoE. If you're playing Colossus, you get like these tank Viking pushes, which are probably going to be even a bit stronger because Vikings are cheaper. So it's really just, yeah, it is definitely an investment and a half. And we'll see how it's going to work out, as CLEM seems to be willing to push with something here. You have a tank following this up as well. It's going to be a big Marine push out with a Cyclone. And these Adepts, they're going to need to escape right now because the Cyclone's going to show up soon.
Cyclone cruising. And it's just going to be seen it jumping onto the Adept, and that is going to be one kill. So we get a KO, and CLEM is moving across to the other side of the map. CLEM definitely sticking to a lot of this aggressive stuff early in TVP as well. Are the Phoenix something that can realistically hold a lot of these Marine tank pushes, do you think? Or is that like a danger zone for the Phoenix?
I think it's fine. Like, as long as there's not a lot of Vikings with it, then usually you can make it happen. I like what CLEM is doing here as well. There's a recall going to be available in the main base, and Phoenixes, of course, can always catch a medevac. So the moment you fly in, it's just very, very scary for this medevac. This medevac is going to die. Maybe a couple of Marines manage to run away here, but no, I don't think they will. Look at that. Very neat pickup here for MaxPax, saving up a lot of his Phoenixes. And now, yeah, that's definitely paying off. He's going to go for 2 base, charge, forge, 4 gas, 4 gate, Templar Archives. I've seen a lot of build orders in my life, Wardy.
That's definitely one of them.
It is, yeah, I mean, it's something different for sure. Yeah, it keeps it fresh. So one of the problems with getting a lot of production before a 3rd base is that you get a very, kind of an awkward situation in which you have enough workers or more workers than you have space for. So you're just going to be oversaturating for a long time, and you're losing a lot of mining time as well. So it is neat that you manage to get some control with the Phoenixes, but you're just lacking in eco, and you're also lacking in added infrastructure. So you go like 4 gate into Nexus, and then you probably need another worker cut to get your extra gateways in. So it's just pretty awkward. I think this is just a very awkward situation right now for MaxPax, and he needs to get his storm out ASAP. And these storms are going to need to be very good as well, because he's going to be relying a lot on them.
Yeah, so despite the surprise factor of the Phoenix and the medevac, still a lot of clunkiness back in the rest of the build order, and CLEM is obviously a moment away from being Stimmin, combat shielded, +1 in, so he's going to be powerful on the map soon. Obviously, Storm is halfway done, so it should be ready by the time we take any kind of a fight here, realistically. But then the question is, how many Storms do you have? Is Storm good enough nowadays? Like, is that damage output enough to truly keep some of these CLEM units back? So that's what we'll be seeing soon, as these Phoenix are taking some attention of CLEM, but he's also still waiting on a couple of upgrades to finish, so he's not wasting too much time. He's going to start losing a couple of units. These Marines not in good enough numbers. They have 2 of the 3 get back to the bunker. Mine's trying to burrow, but yeah, the Phoenix just shutting off some reinforcements, making this difficult. With the Phoenix out of position, CLEM loads up medevacs and actually goes for the drop to the main base, and that could be really cool because there's not really a lot of drop defense. You're actually just going to unload and run into the natural. Same idea, same concept, going to work just as well, as this base has not too many probes on it, but the ones that are here, they're gone.
Yeah, that's -10 probes right there. It's probably going to try and fly over to the third base right now, or it's just going to stand here and fight. One medevac will go down. It's the empty one. The second medevac is also going to get taken out, but 4 Marines do manage to escape out of it. Mines get lifted, Zealots coming in from multiple angles as the batteries are helping these probes survive for now. Templar are here. GG gets called.
That was not the GG I was expecting, I'm not going to lie. I thought he did enough, to be honest.
48 to 46. 45 to 46 workers. 97 to 104 supply. He's kind of overestimating. He's going to lose his entire army. Doesn't have a third base and is 5 racks.
He just maybe loses too much and doesn't think, especially if you're 5 racks in as well, so much of it's about keeping going.
It's just going to be pure Marine as well. It's like naked racks. Yeah, it feels preemptive, but it's probably okay.
It's what I think it's one of those GGs where it's like in 30 seconds you're like, yeah, that makes more sense. It's just the fight wasn't even done yet, you know. Like we're still fighting. So from our point of view, it just comes very suddenly.
Yeah, I really think the win rate there is going to be less than like it's going to be in like the very low single digits, like 2-3% win rate. I think from this position.
You think just not enough units in the right places? So obviously you get like a good drop on that natural, but then not enough kind of collected together to really deal with the Zealots. That just overwhelming, so everything else falls apart quickly.
Yeah, I think a mistake as well is to drop to the third base. So imagine he walks into the natural, then runs into the main.
Yep.
It kind of does 2 things. Like the main has, like you can run into it. You couldn't run to the third base because that's where the main army is, right? So you can run there. You don't have to pick up, which means you keep your DPS even as Phoenixes show up, and you force the entire army to chase you if they want to send the main army, which is the way that MaxPax decided to deal with it, right? He followed with the entire army, and then the army at the third is going to be much more efficient too because there's nothing there. So they, the MaxPax needs to run back over there. So I think that was probably a mistake because now you just gave up 2 medevacs for free and all you got was 4 Marines out on the third base, which is not really worth it. And you dragged the main army there already as well. So even if you get 0 kills in the main base, it still would have been better to fly there. But of course, it's very simple to say that because we know how it went. Like if CLEM manages to get the drop off in the natural or in the third base, he's going to be in a great spot, right? Like because then you have units behind the probes there. There's an army in front of it as well. But it's like a matter of like 1 or 2 seconds where it's just slightly too late. Then you lose everything before it unloads. Yeah, then it freaking sucks.
Yeah, big game changer as we get settled in for game number 2 now then. Reaper on the way on the opening from Clem, Cybercore building down from MaxPax on the other side of the map. And you see the SCV pulling back, next is building, and yeah, a few moments to see where we go to. As Clem. Yeah, a lot of this TVP right now is still very scrappy, very kind of fighting over the early stages, especially between MaxPax and Clem. All the games they played yesterday were very feisty, like, let's get to it within 10 minutes games. We're not seeing any of these longer macro drawn out scenarios, so kind of interesting. I'm not sure if that was what I was really expecting for TVP, especially between these two.
I think Storm is still strong enough where Terran is going to be struggling against it.
Yeah.
Like very much so. And one of the issues with Storm is that it just allows you to really explode your mid-game eco. And as there's no new real mid-game tools for Terran, I think that will remain the same.
Yeah.
So the one thing that does change is that Terran has less incentive to move out on the map due to Ghost being just stronger overall, right? So I think you create a scenario where it is more worthwhile for Terrans to try and stay until kind of the early stages of the late game hit, rather than try and go for like an all-out desperation push once you get Ghost. So I think that is the only real difference. But I think Storm is still good enough where you can just very consistently play it against Terran in a very similar manner. But it's hard to say if it's true. Like it's still very new as well, and Terrans are getting used to how the Storm works. Tosses are getting used to how the Storm works. Like, how often have we seen Terrans walking out of the Storm and then walking back in because they think it's going to expire?
Yeah.
Same thing with Tosses, right? They'll catch the Storm and then they run through it with their entire army. It's like, what the hell? This thing is still on?
Yeah, no, it's there's definitely an adjustment period still going on.
Yeah.
A lot of that kind of intrinsic kind of idea of like, oh yeah, I, you know, I sit back and like, you know, I cast this storm and then I'm gonna send my army through and go do something else, and it's like, oh no, I sent my army through that storm that's still there now that, you know, beforehand was just gonna be gone. So
Yep.
there's a lot of the relearning of the timing. As MaxPax is gonna up the ante in this game with the 3 extra gateways, so we are 4 gate blinking it up.
No. Wardy, come on. Look at the natural. You think he's gonna finish this thing?
I didn't see where the gateways are. Just look at the production tab.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
my
watch.
God. Yeah.
I just looked at the production tab after listening to you talk
Yeah.
storm to me, you know.
It's fine.
Oh,
It's fine. We all make mistakes.
I actually thought he was
Okay.
going to cancel the robo and just 4-gate across the map.
Thank God you didn't finish that sentence. Like, oh, I guess there will be no prism here. Ooh, it's kind of a risky move out of MaxPax. He believed he could do something that I don't think he can. He loses 2 stalkers for free. No, 1 stalker's gonna actually get back. But still, that was crazy. Odd maneuvering out of Max. It is very rare to see him go for 3-gate blink against double gas openers, by the way. He doesn't do this very frequently. He prefers playing the observer stuff against this. Like just getting a quick observer and then maybe move with some stalkers across. But like this, it's pretty rare. Prism is going to scout this move out. Immortal immediately start. MaxPax might get supply blocked soon though. 66 out of 70 right now. Needs to get that new pylon in. Blink is finished up. There is an insane marine count over here.
I was really worried he's about to start chasing that Reaper Hellion a bit further and then be real out of position for this the rest of this army showing up. As we're going to start taking this trade, a force field that will not really change too much of anything. Banshee is going to get a shot on a Stalker that gets a kill as well. And we're going to be able to start sieging this tank up very far forward. Now, we do get 1 Immortal out, but we've got double tank siege. Battery going to go down before it really does any healing at all. And, yeah, that position is obviously going to be brutal. We are going to come in from the other side with Stalkers as well, so that's the flank we're looking for to try and save the day as MaxPax. But he's going to lose the robo, he's going to lose the gateway, and there's nothing more he can get from those structures. As CLEM is very much so in position. The Stalker's looking to cut off some reinforcements, but it's looking dire on the natural.
Yeah, it's looking very poor on the natural. Prism's going to help out these 3 stalkers. We'll kill 1 tank. We'll kill 2 out of the 3 marines. We get some pickup micro as well. At the same time, MaxPax is losing 6 workers already. CLEM doesn't have a second barracks. No, he does have a second barracks behind him, but it's not really doing anything. No eBay either. No SCV production. So this is fairly all in. But I feel like he's already done his damage. Like, even if this were to fail right now, this is absolutely great here for CLEM, and I don't really see it failing, to be honest.
Yeah.
2 tanks are still active. There's no Immortals to help out. The flanking Prism will not be capable of intercepting this tank, so a 3rd tank is going to show up as well. More SCVs coming in here too to get a big blink forward, but yeah, 2 tanks still in the back. Banshee's gonna go down. 1 Banshee stays alive. MaxPax's gonna be forced to tap out.
Some SCVs just repairing a tank there as well, just keeping it alive, just for a little bit more salt in the wounds, because at this point it was truly pretty much just done, I think. When you got those 2 tanks and there's clearly not enough stalkers, just overwhelm them. Yeah, very nicely done. That is going to be GG, and we get ready for Game 3 with it all tied up here in this finals.
Yeah,
WardiTV
all
Mondays.
tied up.
It's been a long time since we've had a CLEM MaxPax final as well.
Give me the stats, mister.
I'm trying to find out, actually.
Yeah, I find it faster than you.
CLEM. It's been since March. We've not had a
March?
Yeah, since March, since we had a CLEM MaxPax final.
Really? I feel like it used to be so freaking common.
Yeah.
I guess they still play in other tournaments in the finals sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, they play in the semis of this one a fair amount as well. There's been 9 finals with CLEM MaxPax, but yeah, it hasn't been one since March, so.
Wow. Okay, that huh?
Yeah. Like I say, they
unique
definitely
situation.
play in the semis a fair amount too. So.
They've only played twice before in 2025.
Really?
3 times before. 3 times before. So this is the 4th time. It's like a quarterly thing.
It's kind of wild, actually, no.
Yeah. I really thought they would play more frequently because they always participate.
Yeah, I mean, CLEM hasn't played the last. CLEM quit for the patch, basically. So.
That is true.
Yeah, he didn't play for a little while, but still, like, I mean, they play in like all of the other ones still.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
Game paused.
Ooh, MaxPax pauses the game.
He's like, you heard you say misclick?
How the hell do you misclick the pause button?
He just accidentally whacks his keyboard in the upper right area and hits pause. Like, well, he's got some he's got some really terrible hotkeys. I don't know.
His pause button is the middle scroll wheel. He whacks the mouse too hard. What is this?
Definitely interesting. Did not have that on my bingo card.
Yeah, I just don't understand how you would accidentally do that. That is difficult. Where's your pause hotkey? It's next to F12, right?
It's even further than that. It's like 3 along from F12.
Okay, yeah.
Like there's a button that actually just says pause on the keyboard.
Yeah, I have the same, but I have like a custom keyboard, so I can't remember what it's like on regular keyboards.
It's like, it is like the most top right button on my keyboard, especially if you have like no numpad. So like if you're like maybe like doing something like putting something down, like a drink down, and like your arm hits the corner of the keyboard, maybe. Or like you micro your mouse and you just throw your mouse instead of keeping hold of it and it hits the I don't know. What were your favorite TLMC maps? You didn't tell me what your favorites were.
I really liked Old Republic. I need to look at the map
list again.
plus the name to like kind of remember. I'm not great at that, but overall the vibes on the maps were really good. Like,
yeah,
I actually didn't mind Talisman that much. I thought it was kind of cute. Like it's a bit different. It was quite aggressive.
Though. It's unplayable in some matchups.
Yeah, like I didn't mind playing it, but I feel like I wouldn't play it in any series against Terran. I felt like Terran was quite good on it.
Yes, Terran, because Terran just sit behind. Like if you try and go to one of the better bases, the Terran just sit behind the other base and just you're dead.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what it felt like. It sometimes really sucks. It's that you can't have like very matchup specific maps. It's one of the things I wish we really had in StarCraft, where the map count becomes so big that you can have like a map that is completely fine for one matchup and blows in like all other matchups. And then it's just cool. Like even if it's just like a mirror matchup, like you can play this in ZVZ. It's like, okay, that's freaking sick. I mean, you need like an insanely large map pool then, obviously, so it's not super realistic.
But what if you just have 8 maps and then what the final map slot is matchup dependent?
Ooh. But then you need to know ahead of time that it's like really...
Yeah, I mean, you make it a thing. You're like, hey guys, it's going to be our TVZs, TVP, whatever map, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this type of stuff I think is like, at least interesting to think about. But I think execution is going to be very difficult on these types of things.
Yeah.
Okay. Philosophically interesting.
Yeah,
okay, we get a robo out. Third gate. I mean, this was once again, it was a double gas, right? Out of CLEM, or am I... No, yeah, it was. So double gas out of CLEM, double Reaper, single Hellion, into double Mine Drop plus Barracks. Kind of expecting a Raven follow-up as well. Could still go into benches. He takes a third refinery here too. We could just see a very similar push once more behind all of this.
Yeah, just like Marine, tank Banshee, get some power going, get on the map early. Try and take those positions. Clem's had a lot of success with it. It's definitely seeming like one of his more successful builds in this last few days of TVP that he's played. So, we'll see what he wants to do. I mean, seems kind of expected as the Banshee will start. Robo Facility coming up from MaxPax. He's obviously playing that Blink again. And getting his extra gases ready on the natural. So again, he's playing 4 gas before he takes a 3rd base. Does this keep him a lot safer against this aggressive push of Clem? Or does it still just come down to how well positioned Clem can be?
I mean, if you take a 3rd base, it's going to be much harder, yeah. But the main thing is going to be kind of the kiting, is when you figure out what the hell's going on. And just kiting off as many Marines as possible. So the main way you usually want to play is you're somewhat across the map with your Stalkers. And you kite, and then midway through the map, you move to like the left side or the right side, and then you start picking off reinforcements with your initial Stalker army. You have like an Immortal plus 3/4 Stalkers at home that can hold on for a little bit, and you kind of crush it from 2 sides. Like, that is going to be the main setup majority of the time. So as long as you start over here, that is good news. Like, MaxPax is going to have 7, 8, maybe 9 freaking Stalkers. And the way for Clem to now move across the map, I think, is just going to be by getting a Banshee behind.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. As the Temple Archives is coming through, so that's where MaxPax heads to. And Clem, that's going to add an extra barracks on as well. Protecting his bunker for the moment. We'll see the prison trying to get the Stalkers around so we can maybe get a couple of SCVs. Aiming for those right now. We get a couple. 3, 4, not bad. 5. Adding up.
This is extremely bad for Clem.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah. I think Clem really wanted to go for a push out. And just as he realized, never mind, I don't want to anymore. Let me get Stim in combat. You just lose like 11 workers. So now the only thing he kind of can do is go for a push out. But it's... yeah, I just don't really see it working. Banshee shows up in the main base. 3 Stalkers plus Observers show up as well, though. And this Banshee is actually not even going to be capable of escaping. Getting 4 kills, 5 kills total, which is decent. But after losing 11 SCVs earlier, it's not going to be great. Second Banshee now shows up over on the 3rd base. Might get 2 or 3 kills, but I don't think much more than that.
Yeah, going to find 2 pretty quickly, so maybe there's some opportunity there. As the Stalker Star step around, we'll find a 3rd. He actually stays on this right side. The Observer's coming from the left, so actually gives you the chance for an extra kill or 2. As we'll sit and try and hit a pylon, but realistically we should just sit in between and just try and be a threat for later.
Yeah, the problem with the Banshee, though, is that it does kind of gain energy, right? Oh, and he's even out of position here. The Banshee's actually going to just fall. Just going to straight up die. Clem is going to move out right now, but Stim isn't done for another 40 seconds. Combat shield, really the same story. SCVs are being pulled off the line. This feels like a very awkward push with barracks 4 and 5 behind it as well. I mean, this is extremely all in. I think he wants to hit pre-Storm, but that's not possible anymore because Storm just finished, or is about to finish. Like, as long as you get 1 or 2 decent Storms, actually just 1 decent Storm is going to be good enough, because there's no Stim, there's no combat. There's not even a single medevac, so it's just going to be tough as hell. Like a single Storm on top of these Marines should pretty much be the end over here.
We are going for the Stormless defense just to really rub it in.
Yeah.
You don't even need it.
No energy.
Yeah, he dropped it out a couple of times. There's no way he wouldn't have dropped it if he had it, but yeah. I mean,
maybe his plan was to like feedback a medevac, and then there was no medevac. It's like, whoa. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very one-sided game.
Yeah, just it's all going well, and then 4 Stalkers find the access, and there's no defense to it, and that's too many workers lost. You can't let that happen.
I think even before, though, like if you're playing a 2-gas opener as a Terran, most of the time you're going to need to deal some serious damage, and there just was no damage at all. Like, what did he kill with the Reaper Hellion? Nothing. And then the mine drop got like, what, 2 workers or something. Like,
yeah,
that's what you get with a late mine drop usually as well. And the point of the 2-gas is you get lower eco, you lose 3-4 workers, lose mule timing as well. So just down a crap ton of minerals. If you don't like do anything back to the toss, yeah, life is just going to be, well, impossible. And then losing the workers is the nail in the coffin, obviously.
Well, we go to Pylon for map 4, as MaxPax will take the lead. He's looking to win his 4th Monday Cup in a row, so he's a map away.
Wow.
From 4 in a row. Something only him and Clem have done before. That sets you up to maybe break it next week and win 5 in a row, obviously. So big moment right now. MaxPax not here for the money, clearly here for the prestige.
Yeah.
Or maybe
you think he'll get the prestige?
No, I think he'll lose next week to Hero. Random prediction, but yeah.
I mean, it's possible. Out of the situations that are likely to happen, it is definitely one of the situations.
It's one of the things that could happen for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it can definitely take place.
Wow. I'm not going to go for anything aggressive here in the early game. I wonder what his plan is going to be. This has to be pretty depressing, because it just feels like he's just been getting beat up by the opponent. Like, MaxPax just seems like he's better right now when it comes to the actual macro games. At least he's winning more. Like, don't want to talk about balance, we could just call it that. 2 gases coming out. Yeah. MaxPax seems very secure in his early games as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's the beauty of it, right? If you can really get through that early game still, I think we're still in some good positions for the next stage of the game, and MaxPax has clearly shown he's comfortable to go there, and if you do get there, which, again, he's very capable of, then brilliant, you're set up for success.
Absolutely. Ooh. Well, started a Zealot for a bit, cancelled it. Didn't want to deal with a potential eBay block. I guess he didn't know it was double gas quite yet. Ooh, locked in with the Reaper now. Factory's gonna come down here as well. And this probe most likely is gonna die. You can recall it. He will recall it, which I think is just the correct play.
Yep.
Like, economically.
I saw someone do the math. That's what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, the only problem is that you lack the fast chrono boost on the first unit. So now CLEM, like, he's running across the map because he knows this first adept is going to be a bit later. He's like, okay, maybe, you know, I can get a probe here. I don't know how well that works out. I think it's going to be too tight here. 5 seconds. Maybe you get one hit on a probe. No. Yeah. Nothing's happening here. CLEM tried. Ran across. Maybe on a smaller map, you can get like a couple of shots on the probe before. And then, you know, if you get the probe kill, then it's fine. Yeah, he didn't. Battery comes up. Twilight Council, Stalker, Warp Gate. On the other hand, we have single Reaper, low ground. Command Center. This is considered a significant risk in the world of StarCraft. You're not actually allowed to do this because adepts can run across and deal serious damage. You don't have enough tools to really deal with it majority of the time. So we'll see if that's what MaxPax is going to do. A second Stalker stays home. That's a pretty big deal. Reaper's going to barely survive as well. You think that thing is going to catch up? It might, right? It will, it will. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless the grenade is perfect, but it's really hard to hit that grenade perfectly.
Yeah. Who do you think is the best grenader? Like, who has done it the most in your mind?
What, saving themselves from the adept?
Yeah.
I mean, CLEM's got to be up there. Beyond?
I think it's Nicorect.
Nicorect is actually very good with the grenade timing. Yes.
Yeah. He's the only person that done it more than twice against me. And he's been playing competitively for a much shorter amount of time. Which makes it even more impressive. Like, he's had less time and he's doing it more frequently.
Sounds
you
like
know, it's a very
natural
trainable
instinct.
skill as well, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's like a custom map in which you can practice it.
I just thought it was like so precise that it was just like a bit of RNG anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, Printf could do it very consistently in his own custom map.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it's such a niche scenario. I wonder how worth it is to practice for like hours to figure it out. This is a serious drop, by the way.
Yeah, this is a serious drop. He's going to kill that Stalker with the Widowmine. He already killed one with the Marines initially, so 4 probes. And that is an extremely successful opening. 2 Stalkers, 4 probes, and a bunch of Marines stay alive. And guess what? Now the push is coming. And this is not going to look too pretty. This is a little bit of similar to what happened to kind of Hero earlier on as well. So, yeah, it's you let that first bit of damage come through, and then CLEM's already on the front doorstep, and it all starts to go wrong. Blink has only just now finished. We're going to lose the pylon. Powering the Robo. The battery will save it, but not in time to get the Prism out. We will just jump onto this, and obviously we're very quick to get rid of the siege tank. We're going to lose a lot of probes, but we will get the cleanup on the army. 11 probes down. CLEM will be up by 8, and is in no rush to do anything else. MaxPax kind of has to run across the map and just try and take advantage of the fact that, hey, I just cleaned the army out. Maybe I can get something done with these Stalkers now that they have Blink, even if Prism is still delayed.
Yeah, it's going to be a very major maybe, though, because 2 tanks are out already. There's a Viking here, too, and the Stalker count isn't high enough, I don't think. So CLEM didn't siege up his 1 tank that was out already, though. So that's going to allow MaxPax to at least get a kill here on 1 SCV. But if CLEM started barracks after the push concluded, that would have been quite bad for him. And maybe I see a future for MaxPax. But this barracks was like 60-65% done already while the push was going on. And ooh, we're gonna get a big blink forward. There's only a single tank on the low ground. MaxPax is making some stuff happen over here. That was wild.
He's making stuff happen, but you're still 10 probes behind. So you've got a long way to go and a lot more to do. I mean, these are like the baby steps of maybe being able to kind of stay in this, but there's a lot more work to be done as he gets a few Stalkers to the left. The tank hit them once, you know, trying to deny the refinery, but maybe all he gets there. But then you're going to try and go into the main at the same time. We'll see if that could be a success. The tank's very far back. Those Stalkers have no chance of getting close to it.
Oh, 1 Stalker even goes down. I mean, a couple of Stalkers can at least attack this starport, which is neat. We get 3 more Stalkers here as a warp in. I think CLEM realized that something is happening. Unsieges the tank as we get a big blink forward. That was probably the worst timing to unseat that tank. And some good micro here with those Stalkers. 3 more get up into the main base. New tank pops as well. Can it siege up? Is there enough damage output here out of the Marines? I think the answer is going to be yes. Another blink in forward as the SCVs get pulled. But overall, this trade was fantastic for CLEM. Viking is out now. That means the end of this prism. And the end of the prism means the end of these stalkers as well.
Yeah, they are all doomed. They're going to try and make the most for themselves, but the reality is they are going down. Every single one dies, and now it's a 9-worker lead and a massive army supply lead. And MaxPax will not even make CLEM come across the map and stem at him. We'll just say GG, and CLEM will take us to Game 5, as we really do just stay super aggressive here in this TVP. And a 5th map to decide today's champ.
Yeah. What is the map going to be?
I don't know.
Have a guess.
They didn't tell me. I don't even know what we've had. I wouldn't have guessed Magnata. That didn't come to my head.
Neither.
I was
The
going to say
Terrans really seem to
Tokamak.
dislike Persephone these days.
70, yeah. I like that map as well. That was a really cool map we got in the map pool this time around.
Yeah, they do. I love Persephone personally.
Yeah,
I
great
think
map.
it's a good one. So the vetoes were Torches, Persephone, Last Fantasy, and Incorporeal? No, we saw. Did we see Incorporeal?
I think that's vetoed, no? We went Ultra Love Ley Lines to start, so...
Yeah, okay. So the vetoes would be Incorporeal, Persephone for CLEM, and then Torches and Last Fantasy for MaxPax, is what I reckon.
Yeah.
Incorporeal is so hard for Terran because you can't get a Reaper in. It's so simple for TOS to defend stuff. Like, there's never like a secondary threat, really. And it's also tough to scout, so yeah. If you want to play 2 gas, that's not the map, and CLEM so far has been... Oh! It's Proxy Rex.
Proxy Rex to go for map 5. CLEM is not gonna give 2 doodles about what everyone else thinks. He's just gonna proxy it up and go try win this. Or not. What is a big map as well? Magnata is not a small map to proxy on, no?
Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't matter if you send your SCVs early enough, you know?
Well,
It's gonna
yeah.
be just single barracks. He's gonna put it behind the main base, or the natural, I think.
Be very sneaky.
Yeah.
Alright, sneaky opening from CLEM. Barracks goes on high risk as well, no? Like, you know, MaxPax scouts for it, you get the denied, it throws you into a really weird position super early in the game. But,
Yeah,
he's
but
gonna get away from
MaxPax is not much of a behind the natural type of scouter, you know?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Just
runs
know what
across
he
the
does.
map big time. Yeah, he doesn't. He just doesn't scout around because he just wants the... Like, it's a bit risky to do, right? Because you get your main info later. So you're going to get the most consistent game if you always send it across.
Mhm.
And I think MaxPax, in almost every matchup, just always wants the most consistent game because he thinks he's the best in the consistent game. And honestly, he makes a pretty decent case for that in this series and in all the other series that he plays. So he's now going to scout. He sees the lack of a barracks. And it's kind of scary because you don't exactly know what's going on. You could start a Zealot, but... Ooh! The Nexus went down. But if the barracks is like a fake hidden barracks, you don't really want to have a Zealot. So the main goal for CLEM here is to get the bunker up. He's going to get it next to the pylon.
Yep, creates that little wall so the SCV, in theory, can go to the other side and not be hit by the probe every single time. But that's a lot of damage on the SCV early as well. Probe actually gives up on it now, and SCV will get back to building. Reaper
Yeah,
out.
you need double batteries against this, by the way. Reaper is running into the main? No way.
Yeah,
That was a significant error, I think.
yeah. I mean that's because that's going to delay the bunker coming up, which didn't need to happen, and
won't.
then now it won't come up.
Oh, CLEM is just immediately giving up on his plan. Oh, that was kind of sad, honestly. I really thought this could work. There was only a single battery out, which is not enough if you have double Reaper plus SCV. You even get a cancel on the battery. Like, MaxPax is getting away with freaking murder over here. Follow-up will be Starport at home and a Hellion. Low ground CC as well. I mean, this is... I don't want to say this is as bad as it gets, because it could have gone much worse here for CLEM, but this is definitely not good.
It's in the direction of, like, based on the fact that, like, you know, the barracks got up and everything, like, it did head in pretty much the worst direction possible from that point on.
Yeah.
Be in trouble as this Stalker tries to get in after this barracks. We'll chase it a bit further down towards the center. A couple of Reapers and the Hellion will come back up, and they will try and go after that Stalker as well. Just going to swing at it and put some good damage out to the negative of not having the batteries. You can't save the Stalker. That's a Reaper 4 Stalker, and we'll get into the main base to be annoying as well.
Yeah, that's a very reasonable trade here for CLEM. As he gets one more worker as well, probably gets one more. Nope, he won't. Good control there out of MaxPax. Well done. Second gate comes down on the low ground, but by the time that CC finishes and the orbital is done, MaxPax is going to be up like 7-8 workers. A very neat scenario here, or a very nice thought for MaxPax, is that it can only be two things. It's either going to be a like defensive cyclone into mine drop, or it's just going to be a straight up mine drop into like a defensive cyclone or a defensive tank, because the barracks was all the way on the side of MaxPax, which means there's not going to be any reactive marines at home. So a 1-1-1 tank push is impossible. Like, you know, this is just 100%, like, it's just, you can't do it because there's no marines. Like, imagine CLEM was gonna go with 2 tanks right about now, or in like 20 seconds for now. There would be 1 medevac, 2 tanks, and then 2 marines from the barracks that have newly been constructed. So all you need to know as MaxPax is that there's going to be some threat by air that will not deal any real damage. It's just going to go for probes. So yeah, it's one of the most relaxing things to have as a Protoss when you deal with this, and the barracks is so far on your side of the map.
Stalker is on an adventure. I don't think he's going to have a happy ending.
No, he died. That is the opposite of a happy ending.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't think he's going to have a happy ending.
Yeah, well, he didn't. He died.
Yeah, so I'm correct. You're saying it as though I said something stupid.
No,
it's a perfect prediction.
Brutal, no, to the Stalker.
Is it brutal?
Yeah.
StarCraft. We don't have time to mess around with emotion.
That's true. Raven. Barracks, siege tank coming in. 45 workers at 37. Now, one thing that is kind of neat here for CLEM is that MaxPax didn't take a fast third base. So there's not going to be an insane amount of pressure here on CLEM to do something. Gonna come in with the drop right now. I think Blink has finished up, because that first mine is gonna die. Second mine is barely not gonna die. 2 volleys with the 3 Stalkers, of course, not enough to kill that. 4 Stalker Prism goes into the main base. This time will not quite be as successful. We have a tank ready over there, which is slightly out of position. But yeah, 2 SCVs go down. 4 Stalkers remain alive. Medevac manages to escape. Overall, a pretty decent trade here for MaxPax. I think he's going to be happy with this. He didn't lose anything, and he didn't lose too much to the mine. Now also kills the medevac. That is very painful. CLEM goes for a third base.
Yeah, just gonna
I think we might see an actual game here, Wardy.
Yeah, I'm like, it actually feels like we're gonna see a proper game of TVP, which is being kind of absent in this series, and kind of, you know, in the last couple of TVPs, and especially in CLEM TVPs, it's been very absent in general. So we get ourselves a chance to get there. Obviously, it's not a guarantee. You never know when a couple of things just happen suddenly, but we'll see how it goes as we do deny the Prism from doing much else. Obviously, CLEM's third is halfway done, so we're getting very close to that. And the Raven will also get into some harassing positions here, try and slow down some economy and get some probes and just try to add on and total up some workers over time.
What else is this observer doing? Look at the freaking path that this guy's taking.
Yeah, he wants some absolutely guaranteed info in the back here.
Yeah, there's no way that CLEM will find that. If he scans this, that would be insane. Like, who's paying attention there right now? Double auto turret comes in, is going to target down a Zealot, but the Zealot just walks away. Very good plan when faced with 2 auto turrets. I feel like the battery did a good job keeping it alive as well, as the Stalkers are now on a hunting mission. Can you hide in the left corner? No, you can't. I wasn't even aware of that fact. Ooh, if MaxPax had continued hunting, they actually would have gotten that Raven. As CLEM is opting for the surround here. MaxPax blissfully unaware of it right now.
Yeah.
Just going to remain blissful for a second, though.
Yep, he's going to see it now, and he obviously has a chance to blink the other way. He blinked upwards. That stim on the right side group of units from CLEM was unnecessary. Doesn't do anything for him. Tries to play catching, but he just isn't going to get there. So, good getaway from MaxPax. Just about sees it in time. As we're going to be in this moment where CLEM has a good amount of units, but obviously with Storm out, he started having these interesting moments of can we trade, can we not trade. MaxPax coming forward, so we are going to see a fight first. Storm comes down, CLEM backs away, doesn't take too much damage. We'll get some healing done on this army, but obviously can't continue in that area as the Prism now heads toward the main base at the same time. Marine Marauder Viking all coming through. And And we're going to be unloading towards the main. There's Marines there, but they're not realizing it in time. We still get the Prism pretty quickly, and some other units show up, so that's actually a pretty good defense overall.
Yeah, this is as good as I thought it could get for CLEM defensively. He also hasn't lost walking into 17 storms, so it's also as good as it could have gone here for him aggressively. Robo Bay is the follow-up before a fourth base. That shows that MaxPax doesn't feel comfortable in this game, and honestly, he shouldn't be feeling comfortable in this game. This is an uncomfortable game for him. These Zealots now are almost gonna get caught. We get a stim with this full army. That is a lot of HP that will be removed from this force and only catches a single Zealot for it. MaxPax is aggressively posturing here, wants to do something, but I don't think he can, as these Templar are taking a lot of damage against the tanks. Don't forget that the Templar -1 range, it makes it much harder to attack into this type of thing, as the tanks have now unsieged. MaxPax once again moving in further forward, gets a feedback on the Raven. Tanks out of position to defend the third base though. The Zealot flank comes in from the left.
Yeah, I mean, if those tanks get sieged though, those High Templar are going to get blasted, and 2 of them do go down, so the issue is always going to be if the tanks get in position. And brilliant, there's 1 High Templar on that left side that'll get involved. CLEM taking the chance to get some damage done on the right side. Did move through that storm initially, but then has to move back through it again, which is going to be the problem. And some back and forth, both sides of these armies taking different levels of hits. CLEM really struggling for medevac to just healing energy. Like, he's got a lot of low HP units there, does grab that Observer. And, yeah, just a little scary when you're low HP like this, because you're going to have to drop another stim to be able to fight. Reinforcements are a little bit far back. We're trying to target fight down the High Templar. 1 or 2 storms come in, we EMP, but we don't get all of it. And there's 1 more storm left, and that storm's still there. CLEM standing in it, and that's low HP units.
I wonder why CLEM started building Vikings so early. He went up to 4 Vikings insanely quickly. Like, he only lost the 1 medevac earlier, so he went 2 medevac into 4 Viking. I don't know if he expected much quicker Colossus behind this, or maybe, but this felt weird because his entire army was just super low, just kind of overstimmed. Like, we saw a couple of very aggressive stims out of CLEM as well, where his supply position before was very good. Right now it's not feeling as great. Let's not forget that pre-patch CLEM would have 7 more supplies, or actually 9 more supplies. He has 9 ghosts already. So this army does pack quite a punch. Like, it is a good army. But at the same time, Zealots once again running into the natural. As EMP hits his own orbital command as well. No more meals for you, my dear friend. And yeah, without tanks, I think this is just going to be tough.
Yeah, there's no zone control that he really remains with, right? He's just trying to find EMPs. Storms are kind of dictating where he can and cannot go. MaxPax's army is not overly powerful. I mean, a few EMPs correctly placed on this right side, and it's going to melt away, and there are a lot of ghosts, as you mentioned, so there's a lot of EMPs available. CLEM is dealing with the left side now, and he's going to be able to even expand out to his 4th base, so he's going to survive. MaxPax starts to head home. We'll get to another phase of this game, as CLEM will maybe be able to get a chance to start some upgrades. He does exactly that with 2-2 now on the way. And obviously starts to build up Vikings again, because now he's got a few more medevacs. He actually does need to make sure he's got enough Vikings to push the Colossus back and keep them at bay at every point of time.
Very true. Prism's gonna head into the main base. For now, the Prism is empty as 3 Zealots hit the 3rd. They are gonna die. The main base will activate with 6 Zealots in the SCV lines. The main army moves in between bases.
Ooh.
Ghosts are getting sniped here. Whoa.
Yeah, that was just a little move command from CLEM. Like, he just wasn't quite controlling his army properly. I mean, it's going to become a weird fight. If CLEM had just EMP'd properly with those ghosts and kind of engaged properly with that army on that right side, this looks very different, I think. Because CLEM had a decent wraparound possibility, but, like, he just really moved up and lost so much so quickly. Bam. MaxPax 3-2.
Yeah, it felt like a risky move out of MaxPax, but it worked out in the end. He knew that CLEM wanted to run into the main base to deal with that Prism threat, and he was there, man, to receive those ghosts with open arms and fat lasers in their face.
Fat lasers in your face. MaxPax takes it down and wins WardiTV Mondays edition 55.
55.
54. Is it 54 or 55? I don't know anymore. It's 55. I've got my stream title wrong. Oh, you just skipped one and I didn't realize. You know,
No,
I
55.
came on this morning and I went to add the bracket to my like bracket command, right?
Huh?
I click on the link. It's like, this tournament doesn't exist. I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't exist? I just never made the tournament.
Oh, so people couldn't sign up?
Yeah, no signups until 3 hours before. So
Oh, wow.
turns out that makes no difference, but you know.
Yeah. Most people sign up just as they go. I'm surprised to see... Oh, no, never mind. I was watching an old cup. I was like, whoa, we had Rogue versus Banana again, just like last week? That's crazy.
Crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Did you watch that series or no? Did I tell you about
The Rogue Visit who?
Bonan?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. He didn't tell me about it either. I've not heard.
Is he kind of Russia, right? And
Uh-huh.
Rogue played 12 pool and 16 pool. Like he wasn't having any of it. He was like, I'm not gonna play a serious game against this guy because he might be. And one of the games actually was relatively close. Like, there's a couple of moments where it felt like Rogue could have died.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. GG's. I mean, short day for you, no?
What a short day. I mean, I'll play them Monday night weekly as well then.
Yeah, with new map pool.
What do you mean new map pool?
They're using TLMC maps in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
10,000 feet. Hey. Andromeda?
Andromeda. I kind of liked Andromeda.
Celestial Enclave. Mothership.
That one was a bit weird, but I think playable. Like macro weird. That's the one with the in-base expand, but it's worth
yeah. Old Republic. Satellite Years. I can't remember seeing a game on Satellite Years, to be honest. No, I played on it myself. Oh, oh no, this map played out pretty fun, actually. I like this map.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Oh, it was very so-so, you know?
Really? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think, honestly, like, all the maps are pretty good. Like, I think it's hard to pick a bad map to put in a map pool right now in the TLMC.
Yeah.
Did you have any that you think particularly weren't good?
No. I like Taito's Citadel.
Yeah, I like that one too. What was the Beyond Clem Game 5 map? That map was really good. Winter Madness. Yeah. Was that one?
Winter Madness looks like it was made by Maras. Is it true?
Yeah, it is.
She always has the purple accents in there.
Yeah, well, I don't think that was the I don't think that's what I was thinking of actually. Oh no, I think I was thinking of one of the map games that played between Zaun and Spirit. They played some really fun stuff, and there was a map that had like a base in the middle of the map that was like really fun. When it got to like the late game. That
Mothership?
No, it wasn't Mothership.
Old Republic has kind of a middle of the.
Maybe it was Old Republic.
I'm telling you, Old Republic, Taito.
No, it wasn't
Citadel.
that one though. What map was it I'm thinking of? It was a really good long game, and then like maybe it just wasn't.
What day was it?
I think it was the playoff day.
Playoff day 1 or playoff day 2?
Playoff day 1, I think. Maybe it was Clambion. What's missing you today? Magnetic North, no.
Winter Madness was the last game of Clem versus
Yeah,
Beyond.
I don't think it was that though.
Zaun Yong Yakov?
No, it was definitely PVT.
Zaun Clem. On Mothership.
Zaun Clam? That definitely wasn't it either.
Zaun versus Barcode?
No, I'm sure. I'm just gonna look at my VOD because I'm sure it was.
Please do. Keep us in the loop on that.
Because it's annoying me that I can't think of what it is.
We're on the edge of our seat right now.
Yeah, I'm glad. Stay right there. There's definitely TVP. No, I mean that game 5 was crazy, but that's not the map I was thinking of. I think it might have been maybe it was the Spirit Zaun series.
Couldn't even find a replays for that, so I wouldn't be capable of helping you there.
Not even capable of helping me. Unbelievable. Crazy.
Truly, actually, yeah.
I don't know why I can't remember what map it was. It was so entertaining.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later, Marty.
At some point, I'm gonna message you in like 3 years' time, be like, "Hey, it was this one."
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was a map that had like a lot of action in the. It just had like a base in the middle, and it just became very fun. Maybe it was with MaxPax or someone. Anyways, I'll figure it out.
Alright, I'll see you later, man.
Yeah. Bye.
Good talk. Bye-bye.
Good talk. Bye. Hey guys, how are we doing? What I'm gonna do is I'm not done. I'm actually gonna cast one of the matches from earlier today. I think I'm gonna cast Classic Rogue because I want to see how that went. But I'm just going to take a couple minutes and just go... I might cast Classic Rogue and Hero Rogue, but I'm just going to take a minute or two and be right back. Check on stuff, and then we'll come back and we'll probably cast Classic Rogue at the very least. From earlier today, so... yeah. Alright, BRB. Alright, guys. Change of plan. I will just cast some games another time. I didn't do the sponsorship thing. I'll just, yeah, we'll just do that next time. Sorry. Bye.